What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is not Friday. It is Saturday. What is going on? How are y'all doing today? I am your host, Emmanuel Noizet. I want to thank y'all so much for taking the time to be out here tonight. Yes, we are doing things a little bit off. As I told y'all before, I had some other situations going on Friday. So, of course, we had to reschedule. But I am so happy that y'all are able to adjust and come out on your Saturday. I promise you, this is not going to take 4 hours. I tell you now, I hate the fact that it started with 3 and now we have 4. But listen, it ain't gonna be all of that, okay? But listen, thank you so much. For those of you that are new, listen, this is a show where we are going to talk about the news from the week. We've got some MCU history being made with Ms. Marvel. We got some James Bond news potentially, with Christopher Nolan. And then is Aquaman gonna sink? Is it in trouble? I don't know. Maybe, kind of, sure. Who knows? But we're gonna talk about all of that plus so much more. So all you gotta do, and I'm gonna give y'all this exclusive offer. The people in the chat already know about it, but I'm giving you this prime opportunity. All you gotta do is subscribe for free if you want to join in on the chat, if you want to let your voice and opinion be heard. By the way, it don't even matter if you don't agree with me. That's fine too. Just keep it respectful. Okay. Now it's a bonus if you do agree with me. But if you don't, that's fine too. It's all good because at the end of the day, I'm just happy that all of y'all are here and you get that opportunity to join one of the livest, one of the best, one of the unequivocally just most fantastic live communities. That is the eFam in the eChat. And yes, you do want to be a part of it. Like I said, it is free 99. All you got to do is just subscribe. It really does help the channel. But y'all, let us go ahead and give some quick shout outs to see who is here with us today. We got Rim17 holding it down for the Mod Squad. Shout out to you and the rest of the Mod Squad. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all already know what to do. Get those likes up in case you haven't already. Ism Schism, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here. We got another top supporter with Deborah Rodriguez. Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. Ms. Harper, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. See, I got you on the day when you're not working. At least, hopefully not. So, hopefully we can get some more folks in. Now, I'm not doing Saturdays all the time, but I do like to kind of give people a couple options here and there. Shout out to Mama J. Thank you so much for being here. You got here right on time, ma'am. Thank you. My man Nelson V is here. What is going on, brother? Good to see you. 60 plus reviews. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you too. Let's see. Kid Mello, what is up? How are you? We got another Mod Squad with Stephanie. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. My man Toby is here. How you doing? Kimmy J, what is going on? How are you? Let's see. Callow, what's up? How are you? DB, I see you as well. Let's see who else. Hold on. Let me starting to slow down on me. People joining up real fast. My man Paul is back. Thank you so much for being here. Rhonda, how are you? Let's see. There we go. Christy, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Kiki, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Who else I saw? There we go. Tyronda, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Mod Squad in the building. Thank you so much. SJ Evans, thank you. KB, what is up? Optimus Fine, hello. Who else? I know folks are joining in late, like right now. My man Jason Rodriguez, good to see you, brother. Thank you so much. Alib, hello. Good to see you. We got the homie Zia Latrice. How you doing? Let's see. We got my man Cal Payne. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Raymond, hello. Good to see you. We got Batman Jr. in here. What is up? Metal X, I see you. Mac, how you doing? Steven, what is up? Poor man, what's up? Who else we got? I saw Jagger, I see you. Leandra, hello. My man Philroy is back. Always a pleasure. Come through. We got Mara Sharice. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. Warren, what's up? Mo Better, how you doing? Who else I saw? I saw Grandmaster. Hello. Of course, Kristen Pratt. What's going on, ma'am? Good to see you. Chill Spot. Hello, hello. Dusty, good to see you. And shout out to everybody that's been able to make it out today and those that are coming on the replay, gang. I appreciate y'all. I know it's Saturday. I know y'all got plans. I know y'all want to go out, do your thing, so I'm not going to hold y'all. I promise you, I'm not going to hold y'all. Orlando, what's up? Long time listener, first time chatter. Hey, Orlando, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means so much. That y'all get a chance to like interact, and I love to see it because again, like I said, I come back and watch this all later anyway. So real quick, just a little personal update. So last week we finally celebrated. It was a long time coming. We finally celebrated. You see it. You see the plaque, right? And y'all were so amazing and super generous. I'm not gonna go through it all again. All the thug tears are gone. Okay, the thug tears are gone. But we made the 100K mark, and y'all were so generous with your donations. Just really blessing my family as much. And I told y'all, anytime y'all really donate, it really just kind of goes back to them. It pays for the channel, it pays for all the other maintenance and stuff. But it does really go back to my family. And I did feel like since y'all do contribute, the least I could do is at least show y'all some of the fruits of that, and what this comes down to right now is my daughter, Sid. So she is about to turn 16. I know it's crazy already. But we decided to surprise her for her 16th birthday. It's not now. Her birthday's next month. But we decided to go ahead and give her a little gift early. And a lot of that again is because of y'all. So because y'all were able to really just donate and support the channel, I just wanted to let y'all see where the funds are going to. So we did get to record it. It's real fast. Don't worry, it ain't gonna take too long. But we did record it. Let me see. Let's get this out first. Basically what we ended up doing was my wife made a slideshow. It's nothing fancy. It was just a quick little slideshow, and we decided to kind of play this for her, and my wife was smart enough to record her reaction at the same time. So what you're seeing is her reaction, and what you see at the bottom is what she was watching on the TV screen as we were walking her through the surprise. So I'm just gonna play it real quick so y'all can kind of see what happened.
Read the screen.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yes. Oh. But I have an idea.
You have an idea?
Yeah. I think I already know what it is.
What?
Because I hear her in the background.
Where? Who?
You're lying. You're lying. I don't like the word lying. You're fibbing. You're joking. Are we joking? Who is we? Wait! Stop. When?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
What day? I mean, oh my gosh.
Happy birthday. Kobe always got to be so jealous. All right, so there was it. So of course she was just like, first thing she had to think about was, I gotta go get my phone. And then she came back, which I didn't see. She came back and she was like, I don't have anything to wear. We had already planned that, so the wife is already out with her right now, going to find. They went to the mall to get some outfits or whatever. So again, anyway, that's just, I just want to let y'all know this is what it goes to. It goes to, it's not me. I'm not getting, crazy, dumb with the money or nothing. It goes to helping these little kids out. You go to the Noisette Fund and do all that. So there you go. Anyway, I just wanted to share that little nice moment with y'all, just to show our appreciation as well, for your generosity. All right, so let us go. And yes, that is for the Beyonce concert. She's not gonna meet Beyonce. It is for the Beyonce concert that is gonna be here. So she's gonna go and check that out. All right. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for that. I'm sure she will also thank y'all as soon as she collects herself. But let's get to the news. We got a couple things to talk about. So we have talked about this a couple of times. Jamie Foxx. So my goodness, there's been so much fake news going back and forth, quite crazy, wild reports. We finally got to see Jamie Foxx actually, out there playing golf or miniature golf or whatever. And he seemed to be cool. A lot of people were thinking like, man, maybe he had, a stroke, or maybe he had this or that or whatever. But we finally have Jamie Foxx coming out and speaking about what actually happened. And, or better yet, this is his first time talking after the whole situation. And the thing about this, like, now the clip is on his Instagram if you do want to go see it. However, it is something that is a little bit longer, so I'm not going to play like the actual clip. It's like 3.5 minutes long. But we are going to read over a couple of the snippets from it. And in here, he ended up saying here, let's see, I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through. He also debunked a lot of the online rumors that the medical emergency left him paralyzed or blind. He said, though, but I did go to hell and back. My road to recovery had some potholes as well, but I'm coming back and I'm able to work. Foxx praised his daughter Corinne as well as his sister Deborah Dixon for keeping his medical struggles and recovery private. And he said that they didn't let nothing out. They protected me. And he ended his video message by saying, I'm on my way back. And of course, you can go here on his own Instagram and you can listen to it in full. He actually, what I liked about it is Jamie did exactly what you would expect. My man was still cracking jokes. Like he was talking about like, oh man, they said I was left blind, and you see him messing with his eyes. It was definitely funny, but it was so uplifting to see my man was back in action. He was feeling good about it. And I loved, and shout out to his family. Shout out to his family, because like we were saying before, all these other random sources and outlets that were trying to speak on not his behalf, but speak about his health, and clearly they were absolutely wrong. But shout out to his daughter and to his sister for keeping us informed to the extent that the family was comfortable with, right? And that's something that I think we cannot ignore. We have to remember that even though they're celebrities, even though they're in the public eye, they still have some level of privacy, at the very least. If Jamie Foxx don't want you to know exactly what he went through, that's his prerogative. We're not entitled to that information. At the most, I'm just saying, as long as we know the brother is okay, that's all we really need to know at the end of the day. So shout out to his family for taking care of him, protecting him during that time. And shame on those outlets that just decided to run for the clicks and run for the clout at this man's health and his expense at that. But how do y'all feel about Jamie coming out and talking about this whole thing? If you did get a chance to watch the video, what did you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, let's grab these comments right now. Alib, what's going on? E-Man, we are family. You know this. Yes, I do. That's why I wanted to share. Of course, absolutely. Thank you so much, Alib. I appreciate you as always. Natalie, what's going on? My mom took me to Soldier Field to see Beyonce in 2016. I told her to resell the tickets because I was still in college, but I'll never forget it. Let me tell you something. I was thinking about it. I was close to reset because I remember 2016. I remember when them Beyonce tickets was nuts. Okay, I remember when them tickets was going crazy and people was paying like Taylor Swift prices for them, and I was like, you know what? I mean, maybe we could make a little something, pay off a couple bills. But of course, my daughter's her birthday was right around the corner, and I was just like, man, whatever. Like it's better to just go ahead and let her have that experience, because I don't think she's never been to a Beyonce concert. So to have her have that moment definitely outweighed anything that I was thinking. So anyway, yeah, I totally feel you, and I'm hoping that she also gets some great memories along the way. Thank you so much, Natalie. I appreciate you, and shout out to your mom for those beautiful memories. Speaking of which, let me say thank you so much to my man Terrence. Appreciate it. You sent $10 in Cash App for Sid for a happy birthday. Thank you so much. I'll make sure she gets that as well. Thank you. All right, let's move on. What else do we have? We got an update from Netflix. So in case y'all didn't know, Netflix has been going through a lot of different changes. Some of the changes include basically having no more password sharing. So a lot of people, if your cousin, your friend, your colleague, whoever was sharing your account, yeah, that's over with. Like Netflix, like, nah, we ain't doing that no more, right? But one thing they did was also try to include different types of plans to like kind of help people adjust. So of course we have the ad plan, where now you can watch with ads. It's a little bit cheaper, but at the same time, you're gonna get commercials. And other streamers are gonna start doing this as well. And I do wonder how that's gonna work in the long term. But as Netflix giveth, Netflix also taketh away. And I don't know how many of y'all were on this plan, but the basic plan, y'all, that's gone. That is gone, because one of the cheapest plans that had no ads, Netflix is now taking that away. Yes, that is right. The basic plan, which provided a single stream for $9.99 a month in the US, is no longer available for new or rejoining members in the respective countries. According to Netflix, existing basic members can remain on this plan until you change plans or cancel your account. The elimination of Netflix basic plan is designed to boost customers on the ad-supported standard with ads, which the company first launched last November. So, in other words, if you was on that $9.99 plan, it's over with unless you stay on it. So you basically are grandfathered in. Okay, you're grandfathered in, so you got it, you can keep it, but don't make no changes. You make one change, you ain't never going back. So you better weigh your options as to what means what to you in terms of this basic plan. Now, I'm sure that the basic plan, to be honest, it's been a while since I've been on the basic plan, mainly because I have kids. They watch Netflix, they watch their little kiddie shows and stuff like that. So I have to go up to like the higher tier one so everybody can have their HD quality, blah, blah, blah. But listen, if I was on that basic plan, I'd hold on to that. Okay, because I can't do the ads. I don't like the ads. That's why I pay the money, because I don't want no ads on my stuff. But this is the last basic cheap plan that still has it. Now, the question is, I've already told y'all that they always gonna raise the price on these plans because it costs money to go ahead and do streaming. Streaming is always going to raise the price. I wonder if you stay on that basic plan, if they're still gonna raise the price on people moving forward, or are you gonna be locked in? Because if you locked in at $9.99 for, I don't know, 5-10 years, that's dope. That's a great thing. Now, I don't think they're gonna be that, I don't know, generous with it, but it is something to kind of keep in mind. So y'all let me know, how do you feel about the fact that, you know, they are getting rid of the basic plan? And again, this is the one without ads. So you still have the option of getting the one with ads. And if you get the one with ads, that obviously is going to be a little bit cheaper. But of course, it's offset with the fact that there are ads. So y'all let me know, how does this affect your plan with Netflix? Do you care? Does it matter? Do you think you was gonna switch anyway, or are you gonna stay put? Whatever you feel, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, moving on. We're gonna shift gears now to the theaters. So y'all, I had no idea that AMC was so funny. Okay, I mean, these folks was hilarious. Okay, AMC has put us through a lot of different things. Now they've gone through some things too, right? They've gone through some things with the pandemic. We didn't know if they was going to go out of business out of nowhere. That whole GameStop thing or whatever, and their stocks went up off of some goofy stuff. And all of a sudden they bought back some shares and bought this, bought that. And look, they was like, yo, we ain't done. Okay, we ain't going nowhere. Okay, they almost was out, but they came back. And as they came back, AMC kept trying to do all these different plans to get people not only back to the theaters, but to make more money, right? They had to make more money to stay in the game. And along the way, who knew? AMC was real funny about things, because they came out with this plan. And we talked about this, what was it, in February? So like 5 months ago, we were sitting here talking about this funny plan that they had, which was to charge people for the good middle seats. Y'all remember that? Oh, that was so funny. They said, you know what? The middle seats, y'all gonna pay a $1 or $2 extra, because those are the premium seats. Those are the sight line seats, right? And the seats on the side, you get those a little bit cheaper. Oh, you sit in the front row, y'all get them great value seats for a little discount. Woo, that was so funny. Y'all, by the way, I'm telling y'all, it was a joke, because out of nowhere, AMC was like, hey, we was just joking. Yup, there was just, y'all like that joke, right? Look at that funny, right? Yeah, because that plan is gone. They dropped that stupid plan. Oh, that is over with. They said, the company said, it announced that it is no longer moving forward with Sightline at AMC, a ticket pricing initiative based on seat location within the auditorium. After conducting a pilot test program in select locations, the company announced it would pivot away from Sightline at AMC because there wasn't enough interest in the idea of offering a range of prices to sit in particular rows. In the study's findings, customers were willing to pay more for premium seats, but weren't willing to subject themselves to the front row even for a lower price. Yikes, 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 yikes. First of all, y'all had to pay for a study for that? I told y'all this was a stupid plan from the jump. I know y'all not gonna listen to me. Who am I? But this was always a dumb plan. And I told y'all this was a stupid plan from the beginning. Okay, from the beginning. Because the second you started doing this, there was no control over it anyway. If I sat here and looked at the theater and I was like, oh, okay, all the seats, okay, you know what? Let me just buy that great value front row seat. And then when I get to the theater, oh, ain't nobody else sitting here? Who gonna stop me? Who gonna stop anyone from moving at that point? So, like, y'all had no way to check and balance this in the first place, but then y'all really thought people was gonna pay more money to go just sit in the middle seat. But then it backfired on them even more, because according to that study, people was like, all right, I'll sit in the middle seat, I'll pay for it. But what were you gonna do when the middle seats filled up? Ooh, they didn't think about that. So if you had everybody sitting in the good seats and all you had were now the perceived bad seats, because this is what happens when you cause that little tier system, people was like, I don't even feel like going. Isn't that counterproductive? Because you wanted more people to come to the movies, but now because you created this weird hierarchy in seating priority, people was like, I'm straight. I don't want to do that. But I told y'all about this a long time ago as well. And this goes all the way back to the pandemic. Back what was it? In 2001. We did this live. I know it's in the record book somewhere. I brought up a little study that was put out a long time ago. So about 2 years ago, study came out and it said the number one thing, or one of the many things that would actually attract people to come back to the theaters. And it was the most brilliant thing, the most brilliant insight that I don't know anyone can think of, which was pretty much that, movie theaters can attract more customers with vaccine mandates at the time, or lower ticket prices. Y'all remember this? The report, which was commissioned by the Quorum, surveyed more than 2,500 pre-pandemic moviegoers, and their reluctance mostly came down to concerns about safety and price. Well, guess what? Now that the pandemic is over, it's really about price, right? And some 70% of avid moviegoers. So these are the people that go way more than the average person. This is, the person that goes to watch a movie maybe once a week or more, or something like that. It also indicated that they would go more often if movie going was less expensive, with 65% complaining that buying snacks at the cinema is too expensive. So at the end of the day, there was always the research out there. There was the basic common sense that if y'all just lowered y'all prices, or if you change the concessions to healthier options or food that made more sense for the money that you're paying for it, people would come. People would have no problem. Look, I want shout out to Marcus Theaters. That's the local theater I go out to here in the Midwest. But they updated their food selections up there. Let me tell you something. They got some delicious options. Okay, and I mean they got some update. They got like 5 different types of burgers. They got like these different chicken wings and dippers and these little pretzel bites. Then they got these funnel cake sticks with the dip in something. I'm sorry. But you don't mind paying for it because the food is actually really good. It's better than just popcorn. Matter of fact, they got different types of popcorn. They got ice cream and all this stuff. Listen, I don't have a problem paying for more money if it's worth and if it matches the quality of the food. You ain't finna get me nowhere paying $15 for a raggedy hot dog. Are you crazy? A hot dog made out of God knows what? No. But if you tell me you're going to give me a Western burger with some bacon and some extra tomatoes with some extra pickles and hold the mayo, if you tell me you're going to give me that with some freshly seasoned fries, I'll pay that. I will pay that. Okay, I'll pay for that. But anyway, I don't know who was running AMC. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but I'm glad they came to their senses and they said, you know what, we was just playing. We gonna get rid of this nonsense ASAP and in a double. So y'all let me know, how do you feel about AMC playing around with this little idea of charging folks, but not really, because now they done with it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yes, I'm hungry too. Oh, Lord. I might have to go watch a movie just to go get me a little taste of that. That Western burger, boy, that sucker hit just right. Let's see. Miss Sheila, thank you so much. Congratulations on your milestone. I'm so proud. Like, you're my nephew for real. Thank you, Miss Sheila. I appreciate that all day, every day. Thank you. All right, let's move on. You know what? Y'all have been asking about this for a long time. And y'all, we finally have an update for Invincible. Now, in case you don't know, Invincible is an animated series. You can currently watch it on Amazon Prime. And it's based off of the comic book that was made by Robert Kirkman, same dude that gave us the Walking Dead series and the comic. And when I tell you this is brutal, This ain't for kids. Okay, this is a very mature adult graphic show. Okay, like if you've seen Invincible, there's some things that's gonna be in your mind that you just never gonna, it's never gonna leave your head. I will never get that train scene out of my head at all. I will never get that opening scene with the Justice League. Okay, their version of, I never get that. I've every time that clip has come back on social media, whatever, I watch every second of that. I shouldn't, because it's graphic and it's brutal, but I watch it every single time. I will never forget the father-son moment, at the end of the season. I never forget none of this stuff. This show is fantastic, in my opinion. Now, with that said, a lot of people have been like, wondering, where is season 2? What is going on? It's been a long time for season 2, a long time. But y'all, we finally got an update. We finally know when season 2 is coming out. And y'all, it's a little bit later than probably hoped for, but they dropped a new trailer. The trailer is promising a whole lot more characters, a whole lot more villains and stuff like that. But it's saying here that Invincible season 2 is coming November 3rd. Unfortunately, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is November 3rd will only bring the first half of the 8-episode season. Oh, only 8 episodes? You only gonna give me 4 episodes? That hurt. That does hurt. So after waiting 2 years, we're gonna get 4 episodes. It says here 4 episodes will release weekly. Dang, and it's weekly? Starting November 3rd. Then the show will go away until early 2024. The good news is that right now, you can go see a brand new standalone episode of the show, Invincible Adam Eve, which is going to bridge the gap between the seasons a little bit. And that's Adam Eve right now, right there. So, listen, I haven't seen Adam Eve yet, and I'm a little afraid to even watch it because I'm like, it's July. Like, I got to wait another 3 months. I got to wait another 3 months for 4 episodes. And then I got to wait, I don't know how long. What does early 2024 even mean? And I get the feeling. That what they're doing is they're spacing this out in a nice way, because Robert Kirkman did say that season 3 was going to come in a shorter amount of time than we had to wait. So, if you tell me starting November 3rd, I'm going to watch Adam Eve, and then you get the first half, and then you get the second half maybe 3 months later. I'm just guessing. I don't know. 3-6 months, whatever. And then maybe season 3 comes a little bit quicker. Maybe it comes in 2024. Maybe that pacing will be okay. Maybe. But I think I'm going to wait. I'm itching to watch Adam Eve right now. And I see some of the comments already saying it's fire. I think I want to wait first, but I'm very, very, I might just watch it. I don't have no self-control. I might just watch it. I don't care. I think I'm gonna watch it. Whatever. Anyway, how do y'all feel about this news for season 2 for Invincible? Have you seen Adam Eve? Do you plan on watching Adam Eve? Are you excited that we finally have a date? Is this date too long? Well, or do you think that, since we waited this long, a couple more months ain't gonna hurt? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And once again, you can watch Invincible on Amazon Prime. But please let me know what you think down in the comments. And yes, please don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, y'all. Don't know, but Oh man, now I got to. I'm thirsty. I want to watch it. All right, let's move forward. What else do we have here? Oh my God, y'all! When I tell you, I used to love. There was a couple shows in the afternoon that I would watch as a kid. If it wasn't Batman the animated series, if it wasn't Power Rangers, if it wasn't X-Men the animated series, um, if it wasn't Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles was right up there. Like Gargoyles was in my lineup right there. And I loved every second of it. After school, I see Goliath and the homies. Yo, yo, yo. I mean, it's been a while. I haven't rewatched it, and I've been debating on whether I should rewatch it, but I have absolutely loved it for the longest that I can remember. And there's been a lot of talks about whether or not they were ever gonna do a movie with it. It's been in talks here, talks there, but nothing's ever had any real traction. Not so I ain't put my hopes up. I ain't really think about it, right? However, it could be, at least this was reported, that this might have some legs, because none other than Belfast director Sir Kenneth Branagh is supposedly going to bring Gargoyles to the big screen. And this is according to the Belfast Telegraph. So this is the his local one. What is this, Ireland or whatnot? This is according to this newspaper. It says here, Northern Ireland director Sir Kenneth Branagh is to direct a new feature-length film based on the animated 1990s favorite, Gargoyles. So this is supposed to be a live-action depiction, and this is supposed to be, something that he's going to do. And you know what? I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, yo, I'm good with this. I am good with this because I love to see, with the technology that we have today, I'd love to see what a live action Gargoyles would look like. Now I'd also be fine if y'all do animated, but I understand that animated doesn't have the same earning potential as live action. And outside of the Gargoyles themselves, I don't really know if there's any real need for it to be animated, right? Because everything else was pretty much realistic for the most part. It was really just, if you can get the VFX on the Gargoyles to actually act and look good, then you're fine. Here's one thing though. There's one thing I need. And I need this to be, let me say something. I don't know if Kenneth Branagh's listening, Disney, whoever's listening. If a live action Gargoyles movie is gonna happen, I don't care in what form, fashion that this happens. I need my man, brother Keith David, to be involved. If you cannot involve Keith David in any way, throw this away. If y'all don't recall, Keith David is the legendary voice of Goliath. You've heard him as Spawn. You've heard, there's so many things y'all heard him play in. But let me tell you something. If you don't have him in Gargoyles, what are we even doing? What are we doing? Throw it away. Okay. So all I know is, especially if there's going to be some CGI VFX or whatever, hey, have Andy Serkis be the Goliath. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. But you better have Keith David in there some way, somehow. And I'm not talking about just a cameo. You can let him be the voice, okay? That's all I need. You tell me Keith David is going to be Goliath. You tell me this is going to be in a live action. You have my money. Just letting you know now. Anyway, while this was reported, some people actually went on to find out, that people were wondering like, yo, is this real? Because a lot of other outlets were not talking about it. And like I said, this came from the Belfast Telegraph. I ain't never heard of them. Now, again, I'm not in Ireland. But I'm assuming that some newspaper, even if it's a local one, I'm assuming y'all not just gonna go, post this stuff without any sources or what. I know you're not gonna just do it for just for laughs and giggles. I'm trying not to cuss here. But some people did end up asking the original creator of Gargoyles whether this was like for real, whether there was like actually some truth to this or not. And he actually responded. This was from Greg Weissman. And he responded on Twitter when they asked him, hey, Greg, any thoughts on the rumor that Kenneth Branagh is reportedly set to direct a live action for Disney? And he said, I'm thinking that it's a flat out not true. So the creator of Gargoyles is saying that it might not be true. Now, there are a couple things here. He's saying that I'm thinking it's flat out not true. The fact that he said that he's thinking this kind of gives me the impression that he doesn't know, right? He didn't come out and say, nah, this ain't happening. He just said, I'm thinking, nah. So I'm not going to give up hope that this is actually going to be something that is going to be in the works, because to be honest, and if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, Gargoyles is owned by Disney. I don't think they need Greg Weissman's permission to make this happen. Now, I'm pretty sure it would be great to have him along on board. You always want to have the creator on board so that way you can, collaborate. Maybe you can do some remixes, you can do something else. But if Disney owns the rights, it doesn't really matter what he thinks. Now if he does own the rights, which I doubt it. If he does own the rights, and I don't know, maybe Disney just hasn't gotten in touch with him yet, or maybe this is all bunk. I don't know, but y'all let me know. How do you feel about the potential of a live action Gargoyles movie, especially by Kenneth Branagh? And by the way, in case y'all didn't realize, or in case you don't recall, not only did he direct Belfast, which I thought was a decent movie, but he also did the first Thor movie. So I think that it would be actually a decent fit for him to do Gargoyles, because the first Thor movie, if you recall, it wasn't like the slapstick, funny, happy-go-lucky type of stuff that Thor has become now. Now, it wasn't the best Thor, okay? I don't, it's a little bit better than Thor 2, but that ain't really saying much. But it at least took itself seriously, right? And I do kind of get the impression that a Gargoyles movie is not going to be here for the laughs and giggles and the goofiness. And I think that, Kenneth Branagh would actually do it justice, but I don't know. Y'all let me know. What do you think about him taking on live action Gargoyles? Do you like this? Do you like this match? Do you think that maybe somebody else should direct it? Either way, let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right, hold on. Now, Mara Sharice, ma'am, didn't you like Venom as well? Now, you talking about the first Thor was good? It was. You sure? Come on now. I don't know. Wait, what? See, this is why I see. I didn't gotta say nothing. I'm glad you got it. I didn't gotta go into it. Oh man. Oh, thank you for that, man. Thank you. JN, the Mr. Terrific shirt is fire. Thank you so much. Waiting on the Nolan convo, but I love to see him direct an all-black war movie. We need that. Dunkirk was dope. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I wasn't big on Dunkirk. And it's kind of similar to my feelings with Oppenheimer, where I don't even know. Do I have a review on it? I think I have a review on Dunkirk. I understand why other people like it. I'm not big on war movies though, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. But I wasn't a big fan of what Nolan did with Dunkirk, only because I didn't feel an emotional attachment to it. And it's kind of the issue I think Nolan has with some of his movies in the last 10 years. He could tell you he can do great technical things. You're gonna get your cinematography, you're gonna get your sound design, you're gonna get all this good stuff, but on paper. But to make me actually feel the movie, not so much. And I kind of compare, as someone who doesn't like war movies like that, I look at what Dunkirk did versus what 1917 did. 1917, work of art. That was a movie. Even if you don't like war movies, you could walk into that movie and be like, yo, this was amazing. Like, the cinematography is through the roof. Straight, I don't say this often, straight up masterpiece. Okay, straight up masterpiece. So to me, when I have comparisons like that, and of course you got like Saving Private Ryan, stuff like that. But when I see movies like that and I look at Dunkirk, I'm like, not so much. But even Christopher Nolan's worst movies are still better than the average movie. So, he's at that point where he's so good, even his bad is still good, But anyway, thank you so much for that, JN. I appreciate your comment for that. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's go to Peggy. Poor Peggy. So, y'all remember Doctor Strange 2. Doctor Strange 2 came out, and we got real excited. A lot of us got real excited for Doctor Strange 2 because boy, some people, I ain't gonna name no names, but some people got too excited because y'all listened to all the rumors. Y'all remember what y'all was saying? I remember what y'all was saying. What y'all say? Deadpool was gonna show up. Storm, Halle Berry was gonna show up. All the X-Men was gonna show up. Wolverine was gonna show. Everybody thought everybody was gonna be in this movie, and y'all got y'all hopes all the way up, thinking that Doctor Strange 2 was gonna be like the miracle, crazy masterpiece Marvel movie. Nah, don't get me wrong. I don't think it was terrible. I think it was actually good for what it was. However, I still think that the marketing killed the movie. The marketing undercut a lot of the legs that Doctor Strange 2 could have had. Okay, it could have had. They should have never, Doctor Strange 2 should have never promoted Professor X's voice. They should have never even shown y'all that Professor X was in that movie at all. They should have left that the way it was as a surprise for the movie. And then, of course, we got all these other cameos in the movie. And the bad thing was, unfortunately, that the cameos did not support the movie the way that Marvel hoped it would. And I've had this similar criticism when it came to movies like The Flash. I've told y'all, a movie with cameos, and if the cameos are the number one thing you going for, you're going to leave that movie disappointed, because cameos are superficial most of the time. Unless the cameo really means something to the story, it's not going to hold the movie up. Now, this is a very stark difference would be, let's say, Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, it was no surprise. We knew that all the Spider-Man, the GOAT, Tobey Maguire was going to be there, and then Andrew was going to show up too. We knew that. But the difference was their cameos made a difference. Their appearance was core to the actual story, and it meant something. So that's the very big difference versus The Flash, where they just show you some Superman that never even made it to the big screen, that only a handful of people even knew about was a thing. Like, that, superficial. Anyway, I've also told y'all that when it comes to actors, one of the things that they usually have to do, and it's probably part of their contract, they got to sell the movie, right? So when they sitting there going through the red carpet, doing the interviews, this is the best movie I ever seen. I love this movie. There's nothing wrong with this movie. It's all good. I told y'all, don't listen to all that stuff. Wait until their contract expires. Wait until whatever terms and agreements are done for, because it's not until the movie is long gone in the back burner, it's not until then that you actually get to hear what the actors really thought about the movie. Didn't we just see Chris Hemsworth not too long ago? Like what? Just a couple weeks ago, sitting here talking about like, yeah, about Thor 4. Maybe it was a little too silly. Yeah, maybe we could have pulled it in a bit. Did y'all just see that? Y'all just saw that, right? Well, looks like now we getting a little bit more truth. And this is from Miss Peggy Carter herself, Haley Atwell, because she found her Doctor Strange 2 cameo a little frustrating, a bit odd and frustrating. Okay, I'm sorry, that was my British accent, not too good. Let's see. She notes at some point that the decision to kill off the Captain Carter incarnation of the character so abruptly doesn't really serve Peggy very well. When she was like, I could do this all day, mate. And then followed by she immediately cut in half by a frisbee, and the audience being like, she can't do it all day. Apparently, you can't. So egg on your face. Woo, man, oh man. Atwell also contrasted her brief appearance in the movie with the meteor role she had in Disney's What If show, calling the Sam Raimi directed movie a frustrating moment in contrast. She had less to do than what she did before she had the shield. And y'all, she's right. I told y'all this before too with Doctor Strange and What If did the work. Okay, What If did far better. And what was that, episode 4 with Doctor Strange? They did far better with her character. With Doctor Strange's character than they did with a whole hour and a half, 2-hour movie in Doctor Strange 2. The battle between Strange versus Strange in those little 5-10 minutes was 10 times better than the battle of the bands or magic bands or whatever that they did in the movie. Like all of that. And Kevin Feige himself even told everybody on the movie set, you see this show right here? You see what they did in What If right here? Y'all need to go make sure you step your game up. Y'all better this What If ain't playing. Okay, y'all got a whole movie. Don't let this little What If episode kick y'all tails. And it did. And she was totally right. And of course, if you watch, or I think we talked about this, some of the interviews with the writers, and they basically came up with the cameo. So Mr. Fantastic, the Inhuman and all that stuff. They came up with all those things on the fly. The Illuminati wasn't even supposed to be in there. And they came up out of nowhere and was like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and just, who can we bring in? All right, we just going to bring him in. All right, then we're going to kill him. What was the point? Superficial fan service. All y'all wanted to do was have a moment to bring John Krasinski in just to kill him off. All y'all wanted to do was finally give us a live action Peggy Carter as, what was she? She wasn't Captain Britain, whatever she was. You know what she was. Just to kill her off. You bring in Monica Rambeau's mama just to kill her off. Like, what are we doing? What were we doing? This is what I'm talking about. When those cameos don't serve the story, you might get excited at first, because I remember people was like, oh, Mr. Fantastic, yeah. And then when he died, we was like, oh, yeah. Because it didn't last. It didn't mean nothing. It was stupid. So anyway, I'm glad that she was able to finally speak her truth about that and let people know that, like, yeah, it was frustrating, and I get it. And it's sad. It's sad that a cartoon can do way more for a whole character, give an actor way more more meat to chew on, and you was in a whole movie and they just played you. Where's DJ Khaled? You played yourself. Okay, the movie just played you. Woo! Anyway, do y'all agree with Peggy Carter? Do y'all think that, that Doctor Strange 2 kind of messed her up a little bit and didn't do so well with the character of Peggy? Or maybe you think different. Maybe you liked the fact that she couldn't do it all day. I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Let's see. What we got? Najee, thank you so much. I hope I said that right. What's up, E-Man? Been watching your content for a minute now. Thank you so much. Wanted to know if you heard about the new Black Panther open world game. Yes, I have heard about it, and I've refrained on talking about it because I don't know very much about it. There have only been rumors about it. There's only been certain talk about it. My only concern with the open world Black Panther game, which by the way, I've been waiting for a Black Panther game, like, I don't know, since games, since games started, but my only hope is that they don't double down on killing T'Challa. Like, I'm going to have a big issue with the fascination of killing this character consistently. At the same time, I also would not be okay with the idea of just being a nameless Black Panther. Like, you just so happen to be a Black Panther. Like, you are in charge, because that's nonsense. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why it's nonsense, because even if it's a mantle, it doesn't matter. If they was making a Captain America game, you gonna play as Steve Rogers or Sam Wilson. You're not gonna come in and be like, well, you get to be captain too. No, that's not how that's gonna work. If they make a Batman game, they have never, ever made a Batman game where you get to be Batman. No, you Bruce Wayne, because that's Bruce Wayne. That's who Batman is. Even if it's a mantle, you are Bruce Wayne. Okay, you're not gonna play no Superman game and all of a sudden you just a random Kryptonian. That's not how that works. If I play a Black Panther game, I want to play T'Challa. If I'm playing a Batman game, I want to play Bruce Wayne. I want to be that psycho, nuts, rich white dude. That's what I'm paying my money for. See, now you got me all started on this. Let me bring it back. So I'm waiting to see what they do with it, because at least with EA, they don't have to follow the MCU trend. They can sit there and make a game with T'Challa and all of that stuff on their own. They can do whatever they want on their own, because y'all saw that bootleg game, that the Avengers game that they did. I ain't see them substituting no names there. So either way, I hope they just keep it consistent the same way they would with any other name brand mantle wearing superhero. Don't give me that nonsense of like, well, you get to be. No. I don't want to be the Black Panther. Okay. I want to be T'Challa. That's who I want to be. Okay. So anyway, y'all let me know what you think. If you do plan on getting it. But thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Howard, what you got? Scarlet Witch losing her damn mind was an Avengers level threat that changed everything in the comments. They squandered it in Doctor Strange too. Thank you so much for that, Howard. I'm glad you brought that up. Because that actually is a great segue, or at least a great setup for me to talk about what I'm cooking up, which is I wanted to make a theory video, and I don't know if I've talked to y'all about it or not, but I told y'all one of my biggest complaints of the movie was the fact that Scarlet Witch's plan never made any sense. Like, it was the dumbest plan. At first, I thought it was bad writing, but then when I went back and thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. This is actually y'all did this on purpose. Now, I don't think they executed it very well, but I'm going to put together a theory video that's going to point out a couple things. I know it's super late, because who cares about Doctor Strange right now? But I am going to put a theory video together, and it's going to point out some very specific things that happened in the movie that y'all probably might have missed, or maybe no one even cared to pay attention to, that actually, in my opinion, proves that there was a reason why her plan didn't make sense, and it might prove something bigger that's coming in the MCU down the line. So I'll make all of that later on for y'all to go ahead and check out. But thank you so much, Howard. I appreciate that contribution. All right, let's move on. Look at that. We ain't about to hit no 4 hours. Yes. Let's see. What do we have? John Boyega. All right, John Boyega. Y'all know the story already with him playing as Finn in Star Wars, and how Star Wars basically played him to the left. I mean, we all got sent off thinking that Finn was going to be an actual character. We thought Finn was going to be a Jedi. We thought Finn was going to do more than just running around after Rey, just screaming, Rey, Rey. Hey, what? I'm force sensitive. Like what? Like what? So anyway, we know that John Boyega has been definitely doing the work for a long time, at least as an actor, and he never deserved all of that. And for a while he did say that, like, yo, I'm done. Like, I'm good. And he's gone off to do other things. And shout out to him for that, right? Like, as an actor, you don't want to get stuck doing like the same stuff all the time. Unless it's working for you, then roll with it. But he wanted to go do more diverse projects. And I mean, even right now, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard nothing but great things. But They Clone Tyrone is out on Netflix right now. My man is in that with Jamie Foxx, Tiona Paris. Shout out to them. So you could definitely go check that out. And he's done other things as well during that time. But of course, the question always comes up is like, Star Wars potentially could be changing. There are rumors that Kathleen Kennedy could be out. It was announced that they were going to do multiple Star Wars movies. One of those movies was going to be a continuation following Rey. I guess she's gonna be like old or something, and she's training new Jedi. So the question now is like, yo, but like, what about John Boyega? What about Finn? Like, I mean, if you're gonna do a movie about Rey, like, what happened to Finn? So the question obviously comes up is like, yo, would you ever come back? Now, he's already said in the past, I'm done. I'm good. I don't want to come back, especially given how this man faced so much racist vitriol. There were a lot of racists that were coming out the woodworks, that were coming out against him because they were like, stormtroopers can't be black. I don't know where the hell that came from outside of the ignorance of racism, but they were really under this impression that it was a bad thing that he was a stormtrooper and that he was black. Like, there were straight up little mini boycotts started up over this stuff. It was nonsensical. And unfortunately, during that time, Star Wars did not take up for him at all. They just stepped back and let this man just get all these online attacks, like they've done with other people, by the way, Kelly Marie Tran, and Ahmad Best as well, so it's been really, really messed up. They finally said something with Moses Ingram during the Obi-Wan series, but the question came up recently about whether he'd come back. And this is he said that, like, yo, I'm open to it, and he ended up saying here in this interview that was a few years ago in terms of Star Wars. So they were the subject of that particular matter. But I'm open to all characters and scripts that are enjoyable, have a great cast attached, and a terrific director. So yeah, I'm open to all opportunities. Now, this I like to hear, but I do love to hear the fact that he is basically saying, y'all better come with it. Like, if you got a good cast, cool. If you got a good story, cool. If you got a good director, cool. Don't put me in no BS. Don't have me out here, playing me to the left again. Don't have me out here just screaming after some old white Jedi lady. Rey, what do you want? I'm old. Like, don't do that again. Don't play this, man. So I like the fact that, he's not closing the door. I like the fact that he's like, yo, you know what? I'm open to this as long as y'all come correct. And hopefully they do. So I don't know. Whatever they end up doing, first of all, I don't trust nothing from Star Wars in terms of movies until I see a trailer. Because they can sit here and announce all the movies they want. We've already seen a long track record of them. What month? What year are we in? 2023. They've been talking about new movies since 2018. 2018. And we ain't seen nothing. No movies at all since 2018. Star Wars now, the brand that when you drop a movie, even when it sucks, you're gonna get at least hundreds of millions of dollars to maybe billions. They ain't got nothing to show for it on the cinematic side. So I don't believe nothing they say until a trailer drop, but I am happy that we potentially might get John Boyega coming back. So I think that's a great thing if he does come back. But y'all let me know, what do you think about him potentially coming back to Star Wars? Is this something you would like to see? Do you think maybe he should stay away and just be like, yo, man, keep doing other things like, the Woman King or the Clone Tyrone and stuff like that? Whatever you think, let me know what it is in the comments down below. All right, Kev, my man, what's up? Check out What If the Force Awakens was awesome. Okay, I'm assuming that's on YouTube or something. I will have to look that up, but thank you so much for that. Howard, what you got? Finn was used by Abrams as a red herring. We saw him holding a lightsaber, but it went nowhere. In the diversity game, white woman trumps black man. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what the optics kind of give. But it's unfortunate because I don't like the fact that Star Wars feels big but limited at the same time. Like Star Wars boasts how big of a galaxy it is, but then we only follow this one little family storyline with the Skywalkers. Like, it's kind of like, yo, we can do more. Like, at the end of the day, as long as you show a movie with the Force, some lightsabers, and some decent characters, throw in an android and some funny aliens, that's Star Wars. As long as you make it about good versus evil, that's Star Wars. I don't care who, like, just you can mix it up along the way. We can get some diversity along the way, but as long as you hit them little points, you're fine. That's the basic formula for Star Wars. But anyway, thank you so much, Howard. I appreciate that. All right, let's move on. So in case y'all didn't know, Tom Cruise saved Hollywood. Not only did Tom Cruise saved Hollywood, that's according to Steven Spielberg. He has saved Hollywood because of Top Gun Maverick. A lot of people believe that he was the reason that movies were coming back, even though there were other things that were kind of doing some work too. But we'll let Tom Cruise have that. Whatever. But like, yeah, so Tom Cruise apparently has been now been almost crowned like the messiah of Hollywood. Like he is the golden child of Hollywood at this point. So not only has he saved Hollywood, but this man tried. They tried it. He almost saved, he couldn't save the Flash. We talked about that story about how Warner Brothers had Tom Cruise watch the movie early and he loved the Flash and called up everybody, said this is the greatest thing ever. That didn't work out too well. At all. But that did not remove the idea that Tom Cruise can save and fix all things when it comes to movies. So, as you guys know, there is a big problem in Hollywood right now, which is that there is an actor strike that is actively going on and a writer strike at the same time. And we've talked about this, right? We talked about that the actors and the writers, basically, they want fair residuals. They want, transparency. They don't want to be replaced or abused by AI technology and so on and so forth. So when in doubt, when nobody knows who else to turn to or what else to do, the last thing you're going to do is not call Tom Cruise. You're going to call Tom Cruise to come and help you out. And that's exactly what happened here. Because Tom Cruise has lobbied to the studios on behalf of SAG-AFTRA for stunt and AI positions. Okay, so for this strike, they got Tom Cruise on the front lines, or at least to come and support. So during the Zoom call, Tom Cruise zoomed into a June negotiating session to urge the producers, basically, and the studios to hear out the Actors Guild's concerns on the issues. He also wanted to urge the AMPTP to support the Guild's position on stunt performers. And in case you didn't know, that is another thing that the actors are looking for, which is basically better compensation, better benefits for stunt performers, who, let's be honest, stunt performers do the work. Okay, they're the ones that like actually make these things as believable as we'd like them to be. Stunt performers are the reason why Daredevil's hallway scene is fire. Stunt doubles are the reason why Iron Fist was even tolerable to watch, even though they need to recast Iron Fist. But stunt doubles, they need to be treated fairly too. But in addition to this, in addition to lobbying studios and streamers on behalf of the actors, Cruz is said to have asked the union, the actors, to also consider allowing actors to promote films during the strike, given the fragile state of movie theaters, reminding his union that promotion matters to actors too. It felt uncomfortable, says a source who was present. Now, this is kind of interesting that he kind of brought this up because, the promotion of the movies, it's kind of twofold. Tom Cruise is saying that, this actually kind of helps the actors, because when the movie does well, the actors, they get paid for it. They get, maybe they get a back end deal or whatever the contract is. But the current Actors Guild is kind of like, ever since they went on strike, one of the things they said y'all cannot do at all is to promote the movies. Ain't no more interviews, ain't no more red carpets, ain't no more promotions on social media. It's done for. Let them burn. Okay, that's what the Actors Guild are basically saying. Don't market, promote, push, nothing. If it's a movie that's happening during the strike, nothing, right? So Tom Cruise is kind of like playing both sides, and let's be honest, my man is not only an actor. I mean, he started as an actor first, but he's also a producer. Okay. Now, I believe he is on the side of the actors. I believe he is. I don't know if he's part of the producer studios or whatever, but he is also a producer. So I understand how he can kind of maybe see both sides. I could see how he can be kind of like that person and maybe bridge the gap a little bit. But not only was this brought up, but like they also asked the union decided to go ahead and ask Tom Cruise for a little bit too, which was here it says the union countered by asking Cruise to join the picket lines, noting that having one of the world's biggest movie stars visibly in its corner would send a strong message to the studios. Cruise was non-committal, but offered to assist in other ways. So now what this means though, so basically they was like, look, Cruz, we love the fact that you helping. We love the fact that you talking about this. Thank you so much for joining on that Zoom. What about coming on the picket line? Here, you can get you a sign and picket with us too. What's up with that? And Cruz was like, maybe no. Yeah. He ain't really saying nothing. And here's the thing. I feel like it can go either way. And I kind of understand, like, I understand both sides. The actors, let's understand that there's a huge pay gap in terms of the actors. The actors that we know, the big name actors, The Rock, Tom Cruise, ScarJo, all of these actors that making like $15-20 million per movie, they not struggling. Okay, let's be clear about that. They not struggling. The Rock ain't hurting for healthcare. The Rock ain't hurting for benefits. Okay, Tom Cruise ain't hurting at this point. However, they also make up a small fraction of the 160,000 actors that are working, right? They're like, I don't know, the 1%, but the vast majority of actors, you're talking about like the stunt people, you're talking about the background actors, you're talking about like the mid to level actors, you talking about the people that you probably see them, but you don't know their name, but you know them, all of them, they working almost check to check. They working on, I think they said the average is probably $60,000 a year. And like closer to the middle of the lower folks are making like 20 something thousand. That's poor. Okay, you straight up poor at that if you're making $20,000. And let's not forget, if you living in Los Angeles, if you living in California, $60,000 don't mean that much. Okay, like I'm in Chicago, right in the Midwest. 60,000, you can have you can go live in the burbs, right? That's a decent living. You living in the South with 60,000, you could actually get you a nice house, like some good acres. You could get you some good stuff. $60,000 in California, you might as well be working 3 jobs. That ain't gonna do nothing for you. 60,000? They laugh at that. That's nothing. So, you know, having an actor of Tom Cruise's caliber, it kind of can give the perception of like, why are you even here? Now, on one side, it'd be like, ooh, look at this name brand. Look at this notoriety. Look at this publicity. If you had Tom Cruise, The Rock, ScarJo on the picket lines. On the flip side, it'd be like, what are you even fighting for? You don't need this. So it can kind of go either way. I kind of understand it. Personally, I'm not mad if these bigger names are not on the picket lines, because I know how cynical people can be. Like, imagine if you had Kim Kardashian. If you had someone like Kim Kardashian on the picket lines, what do y'all think the vast majority of people online are going to say? Now, she could be doing it in solidarity and mean all well and all of that, but people going to be like, you just out there for clout. You just want to get your image taken. You don't need this. Why are you out there? You just doing it for the clicks. You know how people can be. So, I understand why the bigger name actors don't want to come out or probably don't need to come out. And it's probably better for the audience, for people to see what the working actor looks like. When you see that actor, like I said, you don't know their name, but you like, oh, I know that dude. Dang, they out there picketing. Dang, they can't eat. Dang, they don't know if they gonna have an apartment. Dang, they only made $20 off of this hit show that I saw. Dang, when you see the faces of the people that it actually matters more to, I think that carries a little bit more weight. So anyway, what do y'all think about Tom Cruise coming in, basically speaking on behalf of them? And what do you think about the idea of letting the actors actually promote their work? Is that good? Should the actors be able to promote the work? Because let's be honest, when you promote this stuff, it also helps the studio. Okay, so it's not like it only helps the actors. I know it hurts the studio, but it might hurt the actors. I don't know. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right, let's get to these comments. My man, let's go. JN, thank you so much. Hollywood is still afraid of creating roles where black men are masculine and black women are feminine. That's unfortunate and sad. But hey, that's even more motivation for creators, directors, to go do these things on their own. It is tough because obviously you need financing. But this is not just on Hollywood. This is also on us. It's on us, the audience, because Hollywood, at the end of the day, is a business. Now, you might think, and we all kind of like the idea, that it's based off of the creative art of perception, of stories and ideas and all of that. That's the way it should be. But the way it actually is, it's a business. And if you don't put your money into the projects that actually do highlight black folks, minorities, whoever, in a certain way, then guess what? It's only going to feed into the idea, the myth, that these things don't sell. So if that's what you want, you better support them, promote it, support it, put that money into it, rewatch it, pay for it, because money talks. When they start to see the money there, they're going to be like, oh, y'all like that? Oh, but y'all don't? Oh, okay. Then maybe we got to do more movies like that. So anyway, let your dollars do the talking. Thank you so much, JN. I appreciate it. Let's see. Najee, what you got? I love Star Wars, but the Foundation on Apple TV on their tail. You know what? My man has been just telling me about Foundation. I have to add that to the list. I've heard it's very, very good. So I got the Foundation on my list. I got Silo on my list. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff on my list. But I've also, you're not the only one to bring that up. Others have brought that up, and they've had really good things to say about it. So I'm with you. Anthony, what you got? E-Man, been watching your interview with Comic Book Cast. I listen when I'm doing powerlifting training during the weekend. Good for you. Good stuff. Replay gang, shout out. My friend and I are doing Barbenheimer next Friday. How does one prepare for the right way to watch? Good question. So a lot of people are talking about doing Barbenheimer, which is basically watching Oppenheimer first and Barbie, one as a double feature. Now, I would recommend watching Oppenheimer first and then Barbie second, mainly because Oppenheimer is a heavy movie. It's a lot of movie. Okay. Now I have not dropped my review yet for it, but I'll just kind of give you guys a quick little impromptu review. Um, as I've said with Christopher Nolan, you're gonna get all the technical stuff. Oppenheimer is gonna give you the cinematography, it's gonna give you the sound design. I will give you this warning. If you think you're going into Oppenheimer just to see stuff blow up, that's not what this movie's about, and you will be disappointed. If so, I've kind of gotten the impression that if you're from the Fast and Furious crowd, the Mission Impossible crowd, and you think you're gonna get something similar to that in Oppenheimer, that's not what this is about. Is there a bomb in the movie? Yes, you're gonna see the bomb. Is it gonna be all cinematic and crazy and blow you away and all that stuff? No, that's not what this is about. This movie is about that man. It's not only about the man, but it's also about the politics. It's about science. It's about all the drama that happened with him in the public eye and the politics. So for me, I would say get that heavy stuff out the way first, mainly because once you're done watching Oppenheimer, it's very dependent on whether you're a history buff and if you like science and if you're a Nolan fan. A lot of those factors might not be the case for everyone, right? And again, this is why I'm saying do Oppenheimer first, because maybe it's not going to hit with you if you don't like history, if you don't like science, and if you don't like Nolan that much. However, when you go into Barbie, Barbie is more of a crowd pleaser. Barbie is more of like for general audiences. So for me, I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, because Oppenheimer has so many potential factors to potentially not click for everyone, watch that first, just in case if you don't like Oppenheimer, you can end your day on a good note with Barbie. So that's my plea for the Oppenheimer strategy. Of course, you can do whatever you want. If you want to do Barbie first, then Oppenheimer, that's cool. But for me, I would say that because Oppenheimer might not click for everyone, and I don't know exactly what you like or not, try and watch that first and then use Barbie as a palate cleanser. You know, I think a lot of times when it comes to movies, it's always nicer to leave the movie on a positive note, you know, rather than leaving with something heavy and deep and dark and dreary. And, you know, like Oppenheimer is not a happy-go-lucky movie, you know. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think. If y'all have seen Barbie, don't spoil it though. I haven't seen it yet. I was gonna watch it with my daughter, but my wife wants to go watch it with her, so I gotta go to the theaters by myself, and I'll go watch it, which is all fine. All right, thank you so much for that, Anthony. I appreciate you. Get an extra set in for me. I got to join you real soon and get my lift on as well. It's been a while, but I'll get there. Let's see. Okay, so we did that. So while we're here, while we're talking about the strike and everything, I've told y'all that the writer's strike, that was one thing. The writer's strike was always going to be something that was going to affect us, right? Yes, obviously it affects the writers because the writers, they make the least out of the actors and the directors and the studios and all that. Writers are probably at the bottom of the totem pole, even though they are the heart and blood of a movie. You got bad writing, I don't care how good the acting is. I don't care how good the directing is. I'm going to check out. I'm not going to finish watching this if the writing is terrible. Okay. And the actors will also say, yo, we need the writers to give us the material to do what we do. So the writers mean a lot. But now, for the first time in 60 plus years, you got not only the writers, but also the actors striking at the same time. Now all of Hollywood is shut down. Ain't nobody doing nothing, okay, at this point. Now, even though the directors did sign their deal and they're good with the producers right now, ain't nothing really working right now, and a lot of things have been shut down. And I've told y'all, the writers, they had a harder time dealing a real blow to the studios by doing their strike, because the studio's like, oh, y'all don't want to write, that's cool, we got AI now, or we could find some, some foreign people or something like that, we'll be all right. And now that the actors have also gone on strike, the studios, they still might try and counter. And I've told y'all this too, that one of the counters that they might do is y'all gonna see way more reality TV shows. Matter of fact, what was that called? Hold on, because I know I saw that. That was something that just got announced not too long ago. Hold on, let me get it for you. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Where's it at? The Golden Bachelor. They about to make a senior citizens version of The Bachelor. This is what y'all finna get. With the writers and the actors on strike, y'all finna see old people. No, shout out to the old folks. I ain't trying to play no ageism. I'm just saying, if there was no strike, I highly doubt this would actually be that big of a push. I highly doubt it. Now, hey, AARP folks, y'all need some loving too. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Okay. I'm just saying, I would not see this coming on ABC. Not on prime time. Like, don't y'all be asleep by prime time? Wouldn't y'all be done? Y'all be be clocked out by that time, right? Like, shouldn't this come on at like 3:00 in the afternoon? During some George Mathis reruns or Steve Harvey Family Feud reruns or something, or maybe bright and early. But this is what y'all giving us. This is what the studio's giving us. I don't know. But I told y'all gonna have to get ready for this. More reality shows. But even with that said, I told y'all the number one way that the actors and writers would really be able to affect their strike and really make an impact is if you hurt them pockets. And if you hurt the pockets, if you can affect the pockets of the studios, because keep in mind, the writers and actors, they're not working, so their pockets are hurt. I told y'all, they be working check to check. So their pockets are already hurt by not working. But if you can make the studios feel some of that pain, maybe, just maybe, it'll push the needle just far enough that will actually get both sides back to the negotiation table and get a deal done. So there was a report in Variety that actually kind of talked about the strike and some of the costs of striking. And of course, we've talked about the fact that like there have been a lot of movie delays, and I've told y'all before, when movies get delayed, woo, that costs money. That costs a lot of money. And one of the movies that have been delayed, we talked about Deadpool 3 is one of them, but Gladiator 2 has been delayed as well. And it said here, most of the cast, including Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal, began booking flights out of Malta. Malta is where they were shooting, presumably towards home, leaving behind a big budget production that had employed more than 400 people. 400 people. So again, we saw something like this with Oppenheimer. So when Oppenheimer premiered and the writer's strike was happening pretty much on the same day, the actors booked it. Matt Damon, Robert Downey, all of them, they was like, oh, we striking? All right, y'all, peace. Cillian Murphy, peace, out of there. So this again was one of those ways to really make that presence felt. And when you don't have actors on set, when you don't have writers on set, what you think you finna do? What are you gonna do? You're not gonna do nothing. Okay, and that's gonna hurt the studios in some way. Even Beetlejuice 2 abruptly stopped production as well. I ain't gonna read the whole thing for y'all. Y'all can read it if you want to. But one of the interesting things here, it says here the collateral damage from the work stoppage is intense and unyielding. For big budget projects like Gladiator 2 and Deadpool 3, the cost of holding on to sound stages packed with sets and costume runs are and costumes runs about $600,000 per week. Now, this was from one media CEO and their estimation, so take that with a grain of salt. But yikes, $600K per week? Per week? And how long? Oh, and let's talk about like how long this thing. Let me see. This thing can last. I think one analyst said that this could last for months. So, in other words, if this lasts for months, and I do think it's going to last longer than the last strike we got in 2015 or whatever. That was like 100 days. This could last for a long time. And if that projection is true, if it's true, you talking about millions of dollars, millions just being wasted just to hold space to do nothing. Now, it does also suck because all those other people are also not working. The production set designers, the costume, the makeup artists, the stunt doubles, like all these people, the key grips, the sound guy, all these people are also not working because of the writers and actors strike. Now, keep in mind, we talked about this before. We just heard Bob Iger, Uncle Bob, over here talking about like, man, these actors, they being unrealistic, and it's their fault. I'm paraphrasing. It's their fault that all these other people are not going to be able to work. Never mind the fact that the studios just don't want to pay folks more money, but he sure did he flipped that real quick. It was like, y'all the ones that's making all these other people that are probably making less than you, it's y'all fault that they not going to be able to work. You see how the pitting of the the working class together? Bro, that's a page right out the scripts of the big fat cats, from long ago. You take the lower class and let them fight amongst themselves? That's nasty. Nasty warfare. But it says here now there's more damage to this. Okay, so it's not just the financial cost of losing potentially $600K per week. And it could be more, who knows? But then there's also the case of award shows. And it says here, and then there are the award shows themselves. Discussions are taking place about postponing the Emmys, which are set to air on September 18th, so the acting nominees can attend. The show may instead take place on November or even January. So again, this is actually kind of going to hurt the studios, I think, a little bit more, because, the problem is, I've told y'all the benefit of award shows. It's really more so for the studios, right? It can have an effect on the actors as well, but like if you have an award-winning show, or let's just say the movies as well, but the Oscars ain't for a while. But like if you have an award-winning show, that's a nice little badge of honor that you can throw on your marketing. And when you can throw that on your marketing, it helps you promote your business. It helps you promote Disney Plus, Hulu, or ABC, Apple. If you could sit here and say Emmy award winning, blah blah blah, now people might be like, oh, y'all got some gold stars over there. Oh, okay, maybe I'll subscribe. So the fact that you're not gonna have the stars, because we already said the stars they cannot promote stuff and they can't market things. Well, the only thing people tune into these award shows for are the stars. If you don't have stars at an award show, don't nobody want to see that. Don't nobody care about none of that at all. Okay? If you don't have talent showing up to your production, you don't have a production. You just got a little meetup where y'all just gonna talk about stuff you like. That's it. So that definitely is gonna hurt the studios in terms of not having things actually promotion wise, and not to mention, think about who actually airs those award shows? The studios. So again, the studios who make buku bucks off of advertisers because we're hosting the Emmys or we're doing all of this, but y'all ain't got no actors. What advertisers are gonna pay y'all money for a show with no talent? Y'all who y'all gonna mess around and have only My Pillow ads showing up on the Emmys. That's all y'all gonna get. Y'all not gonna get nothing else. You know, when you got the Bachelor, the Golden Bear app Bachelor, whatever it was, y'all gonna have My Pillow. Y'all gonna have some AARP commercials. That's it. Something's that. Goodbye. No ratings. Ain't nobody tuning in, and that's gonna hurt y'all profits even more. Anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about the cost of the actors not showing up, not promoting, the cost of the writers and actors doing all this? Do you think this is enough to have the studios maybe come around if it lasts long enough? I don't know, but y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right. Larry, what you got? Thank you so much. What up, E-Man? Speaking of Beetlejuice 2, did you hear someone stole 2 sculptures from the set, each 150 pounds? One of them was from the original movie too. No, I did not hear about that. That's crazy. Why are people stealing? Man, that sucks. You know who got to pay for it? The studio. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to. Well, they probably have insurance, I guess, of some sort. But that sucks. That's terrible. Like, why y'all stealing from Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice ain't do nothing to nobody. Man, that's terrible. Thank you for sharing that, Larry. I appreciate you. All right. Let's move on. We got 3 more topics left. So the MCU is making history, y'all. So in case you did not know, Ms. Marvel is a show that that you can currently watch on Disney Plus. And I actually like Ms. Marvel. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it's like on the upper levels of my Disney Plus favorite shows or nothing, but I thought it was cool. I love the cultural element that they brought to it. I thought that it made it original in that sense. Valali, I really like her as Ms. Marvel. I thought she was perfectly cast as the character. But the show itself, it did feel a little Disney Channel-esque, which is fine. It ain't meant for my grown self. Like that's stuff for my little daughter to watch. She can like that stuff. That's okay. Everything ain't got to be for me. So anyway, I told y'all that given the fact that the strike is happening, it's gonna force the studios to make some moves. And Disney is no different. They are one of the major studios out there. And it looks like they're going to use Ms. Marvel to make history for the MCU. And what does that mean? Well, basically, Ms. Marvel is going to take a leap from Disney Plus to ABC and become the first MCU show on network TV. It says here Ms. Marvel and Disney are bringing the acclaimed Disney Plus series Ms. Marvel to ABC, thus making the first Marvel series to make this transition. Let's see. I do have it here. Let's see. It is going to be the first in the stream platform. Yes. Okay. This move by Marvel Studios and Disney aims to introduce more viewers to the character before her appearance in the upcoming film, The Marvels. And Ms. Marvel's first 3 episodes will air from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 Eastern on Saturday, August 5th. And then the final 3 episodes will air at the same time the following Saturday, August 12th. So that, I got to say a couple things here. I actually kind of like the idea that they're doing this. One, because let's be honest, everyone that potentially who will go watch the Marvels probably hasn't seen Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel was not like the number 1 top viewed show like on streaming or whatever. So there is a good chunk of the audience that has no idea who she is. And obviously, based off of the trailers that we've seen, she is a big part of the Marvels in this upcoming movie. And there is a huge audience. There's a much bigger audience on the network with ABC compared to, the paid streaming platform of Disney Plus. So, and I do like the fact that y'all dropping these all at once. So now people can sit here, tune in to ABC for free, and you can watch the first 3 episodes, and then a little while later, you can watch the next 3 episodes, and it's all for free, on ABC. So that's really kind of cool that they're doing that, and I think that that's great marketing and it's great promotion for the movie. The sad thing is, I'm like, what took y'all so long? Like, y'all should have been doing this with all y'all Marvel shows. That should have been what y'all did with WandaVision before Doctor Strange came out. You probably would have actually had Doctor Strange go up past the $1 billion mark, had more people seen what actually happened to Wanda and what was going on. It might have actually been a greater tool to promote Disney Plus. If people actually saw that stuff, on ABC, they were like, dang, this is what I'm missing. Oh man, this came out 6 months ago. Man, I don't want to miss out in the future. Maybe that now that I watch it, so many months after the fact, it's the same thing with like the movies and DVDs. When you give time for these things, to go from movies to DVDs, people might be like, oh man, I don't want to wait next time. I'll go sign up. But whatever. I don't work there. So anyway, they got their own people coming up with these bright ideas. But here's the other thing that I'm thinking might backfire. I told y'all before that one potential argument for the streamers, for the studios, is that, we ain't got no money. Why? Because streaming barely makes a profit, if at all. Disney Plus, for as long as it's been around, it ain't make no money. Like no actual profit, right? Which means it's operating at a loss. Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, finally has started making a profit. If I'm not mistaken, it cost Netflix like 20 something billion dollars. I think it's like $26 billion just to operate. So every year they spend 20 something plus billion dollars just to operate. And it wasn't until recently that they finally made like $30 billion and they actually made a profit. Disney's not there yet with Disney Plus. Not to mention, we also talked about how the cost of a lot of the shows are ridiculous, right? Secret Invasion was just reported to be over $200 million, $212 million just for 6 episodes. That's a move. That's 2 movies. That's maybe 4 low budget movies just for 6 episodes on a streaming platform. So not only does it cost a lot for the studios to put out content, but then they're spending a whole lot of money on that content, they're crying foul and saying we ain't got no money to pay nobody. Now, the reason why this is also, even though it is totally possible that they can cook the books because they don't have to report nothing to nobody. All that money is in-house. They ain't got to report to no. See, now when they put movies out in theaters, they have to report these things because they have other people that are all involved. The theaters get a piece, the actors get a piece, the writers get a piece, the studios get a piece. Everybody getting broke off. So you can't hide your books at that point. But when it's streaming, you ain't got to show nobody nothing. And you a private company, you can keep all them numbers to yourself. You can do all the funny money that you want at that point. But with that said, I've also told y'all that one of the ways that all the money used to come in, when we're talking about residuals and stuff like that, if a movie came out and it went to DVD, you would have to pay for the DVD. And when you pay for the DVD, well, now we got to split that cost. Studio gets a piece, the actors get a piece, the writers get a piece, everybody gets a little piece because that's extra money coming in, right? It's not the movie from the movie theaters coming in. That's done with. When it goes to DVD or whatever, that's extra money because y'all paying an extra fee for it. Same thing if it goes on video on demand. You go on Amazon, you go on whatever, and you pay a little extra money to see that movie again. Well, that little extra money trickles down, and then you can split that money up. There ain't no extra money when you're doing subscribing to a streaming platform because the only money coming in is the subscription. You're not paying extra because you already paid your subscription. So that's kind of the funny money that the studios can say, well, ain't no extra money coming in. So, people are subscribing just to watch what we're doing, and we need this money from the subscribers just to operate. We ain't got no money. But here's the interesting thing, and I want to see how this plays out. You about to take Ms. Marvel and put that on network television. If you put Ms. Marvel for the first time, an MCU streaming show, you put that on a network television show, what you think about to happen when a show goes on ABC? You think that's going to be commercial free? I don't. I have I think, because I haven't seen it, I think they're going to throw some commercials in there. If they throw commercials in there, if they do, maybe even before or after, that's extra money coming in. And if that's extra money coming in, now that's money that can go to the actors, writers, etc. Because that was another way that actors and people were able to make money off of residuals. Oh, you worked on Seinfeld or you worked on Friends. Okay, cool. Well, guess what? If it moves to another platform and that platform has new advertisers, that's more money that you can still live off of. Because the advertisers are paying for that spot wherever that show is because they know the eyeballs are going to follow that show. So now, while the actors and the writers, maybe they're not getting nothing because it's on streaming, if it goes on network television, and if y'all throw some ads in there, which I don't see why the studios would not put ads in there or let ads happen, because that's, again, more money for them too. I wonder if this could be a way for them to negotiate something. And again, I'm not an actor. I'm not in this fight, right? But I do wonder if this could be a potential negotiation point where maybe the actors are like, okay, how about this? Maybe we get paid a little bit more upfront because we got to make this last for however long. But when we do something on streaming, you have to also put it on network television. Because if you put it on network television, there's the potential that we can still get a little bit more money. And maybe, again, I don't know how this could work, but maybe it can get syndicated. Maybe it can get picked up somewhere. Maybe Amazon can rent it for like a day or two, and then maybe we can get some extra money. Maybe there's a way that the studios can't call foul. The studios can't act broke. And maybe there's a way that people could just make more money. Because right now, keeping everything on streaming, it's not helping anyone but the studios. It's only helping the studios. But if you could put it on network television, if you can get some more ad revenue, if you can maybe even license it out to other platforms and maybe continue that stream of income, maybe we can finally find a resolution here. Maybe. I don't know. But like I said, I still think that this is a great idea for the promotion of upcoming movies, especially for the studio side and potentially for the actors and everyone else that's also going to be involved too. We'll have to see. But this is not something that's only the case with the MCU. You also have shows on CBS like Yellowstone that is also going to air on CBS. At least it's coming from Paramount Plus. So they're taking that. They're taking other shows too. It says Yellowstone is set to make its broadcast debut as part of CBS's fall schedule, which now includes a slew of reality series, as well as a number of Paramount Plus series such as SEAL Team and the original UK incarnation of Ghost. It says CBS reworked schedule, which has been impacted by both the writer's strike and now the actor strike. So this could be a move that other streaming platforms are going to do. They're going to take what they already got, they own it on their platform, on their streaming platform, and put it in to their regular rotation. Now, again, this could be a game changer, right? I don't know who's going to benefit the most, but I think that both sides need to use this strategy as a way of leverage. I think both of them need to say, like, look, give us some time. Let us have this show or this movie on our streaming platform to boost that up. And then, just like we did with DVDs, just like we did with that, we're going to come up with a negotiation where we drop it on the network. And when it's on the network, you can get some of the ads and stuff like that. And we can make it work some way, somehow. I don't know. But y'all let me know, what do you think about this strategy? And especially when it comes to Ms. Marvel dropping this streaming show on regular ABC network. What do you think about that? Does it help the movie? Do you think maybe nobody even cares? Do you think this could be a way to actually help alleviate some of the residual talk or not? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right, let me get to these guys. Oh man, y'all came up with some stuff. All right, let's see. Keltrick, what's up? Does anyone think that some writers are at home still working quietly behind the scenes, keeping hush? Hush. I find it hard to believe all writers are at home chilling without the itch to write. That's a very good question. Matter of fact, I forget the guy's name, but there's a writer that I do follow in on Instagram. I'm gonna try and ask him that very question and see and be like, because I wonder, if somebody's writing something in private, who's gonna check for him? So I wouldn't be surprised if once this writer strike is done, all of a sudden there's a boom of new shows and a boom of new movies. And because again, I'm under the impression nobody can just write for for work. Like, I think that that's all that is. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are doing work behind the scenes, but they just can't get paid for it, right? So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that at all, especially for the people that this is their livelihood and this is what they care about. This is what they love. So I wouldn't be shocked by that at all. I highly doubt if somebody came up with like a great idea, they was like, oh, this show about to kill him. This is about to be it. I'm on strike. Oh, well, no one's going to do that. No one. All right. Thank you for that. Nelson, what you got? You see the MK1 Combat Pack. We can play our faves. I saw some of it, but who was it? I saw Homelander was in it. Who else they got? They got Omni-Man from Invincible. And they got some other folks in there too. But yeah, that looks amazing. Definitely looks like it's gonna be a fun time. I'm more interested to see what their fatalities are. That's all I want to see. I just want to see the fatalities. I don't care about nothing else. But thank you so much, Nelson. I appreciate it. JN, like you said, add dollars, Ms. Marvel. Yeah, let's see. I mean, again, I don't know if they're gonna do it commercial free, but if there are commercials, y'all gotta pay them. At that point, you gotta pay them. So let's see what happens with it. That'll be very, very interesting. Thank you, JN. I appreciate you. Larry, what you got? Still can't believe this, but Vermont State Police tweeted, we're trying to say their names 3 times, but they didn't reappear. So ridiculous. I have no idea what you're talking about. Larry, I don't know what that is in reference to. Sorry. I wish I could comment on it, but I don't know what that means. But thank you anyway. Let's see who else. Victor, thank you so much. Greetings from Guadalajara, Mexico. My goodness, yo, thank you so much. I was out there in Cancun. I love it. I'm telling you, man, listen, if I could sit here and go back, I might have to mess around and start learning a little Spanish. Okay, I'm gonna have to get the little Rosetta Stone with the Babbel app, whatever. I might have to do that. I don't know. But thank you so much, Victor. I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching. Let's see. JN, Netflix's stock has been up since the strike. It had. Wow. Okay. Hey, that's cool. Hey. I own it. I own some of that stock. I ain't even look at it, but not gonna act like I'm mad about that. I'm not gonna act like I'm mad. I got my socks. I gotta diversify. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Shogun, what you got? And I wonder why they would choose Ms. Marvel to try this network TV thing with. That show was okay, so why not a proven good MCU Disney Plus show? Something maybe smells fishy, but could just be me. It might just be you, because I think it makes sense. The Marvels is coming up. That is the next big movie, and Ms. Marvel is only going to promote the Marvels. So now, what might be the case is, and I've already made a video about this before, the Marvels might struggle. The Marvels might not be that great. I've told you I have my concerns about it. I'm not predicting it's going to be bad. I don't know for a fact that it's going to be bad, but it's a possibility that it might not be that great. So maybe this is good promotion to offset that. Because if you can get a lot of people in that first couple weeks, even if the movie ain't got a lot of legs, you're going to make the most of your money in the beginning anyway. So I think that's more the case, but I don't think there's anything other, sneaky or fishy about it. I think the Marvels just needs promotion. And that's it. That's it. Oh, okay, Larry, this is what you was talking about. Okay. I was so confused. You were talking about the stolen Beetlejuice statues. Okay, thank you for that, Larry. Y'all got to put that context in there. Y'all know, listen. Going through all these, going through the news, thinking, reading comments, questions. I'm slow. Okay, y'all gonna have to help a brother out, please. And I'm not saying Larry. I'm not saying you did it. Don't use no acronyms. Y'all making me think way too much. Y'all be like, man, have y'all seen the new AMPA? What is that? I don't know what that is. Spell it out for your brother. Make it easy on your boy, please. But thank you, Larry. I appreciate you. Because I was lost for a second there. All right, Anthony, what you got? I remember when the House of Cards remake came out on Netflix sometime past. The full season was on DVD. I wish they would go back to doing this because I want to own the 3 seasons of Daredevil, and this will pay people. Yeah, listen, this is kind of like an ongoing conversation, at least in movie circles, right? Like in movie people that are like movie lovers. But I don't think that people really understand what's happening with streaming in terms of content. Like, I think people have the impression that, well, if I pay Netflix, if I pay HBO, yeah, you still HBO. If I pay these streamers money, the content should always be there. Well, that's not the way that the studios are looking at it. The studios are looking at it from the bottom line. They're like, yo, if this movie, let's say The Matrix 4, right? If the movie The Matrix 4 has not been watched, if ain't nobody watching it, if don't nobody care about it, guess what? It still costs money for them to hold on to these things on their platforms, even if it's something that's in-house. And at some point, they're gonna be like, well, if it's costing us money and nobody's watching it, get rid of it. Just like that. So you will see some things like there were Netflix shows that were original shows, original content. Netflix did it. And they was like, yo, get rid of it because ain't nobody watching. And if you are, let's say, late to the party, if you are coming in and like, man, I want to watch The Matrix 4. Matter of fact, I want to binge all the Netflix. Man, maybe it's not there no more, because if nobody watches, they getting rid of it. So there is a good conversation being had about the importance of physical media. Now, I'm not a big physical media person. That's not something that I kind of grew up with. But given the fact that a lot of your favorite stuff might not be around, hey, it might not be a bad idea to invest in that some way, somehow, because those things might not be around for a long time. Like if nobody watches Daredevil, like you mentioned, if 10 years from now and nobody watches it, Netflix is like, yo, we got to get rid of something, ain't nothing stopping them from just getting rid of it. So, now listen, there's a lot of technology out there. I'm not endorsing nothing. All I'm saying is there is technology, there are DVRs, there are other ways to acquire things that you like, hopefully legally. Just saying you got options. Just saying you got options. We'll leave it at that. But thank you so much, Anthony. That's so generous of you to leave that contribution. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see. Oh man, Rick, that sounds like a very, very good, interesting idea. But I'm trying not to make this trying not to make this like 8 hours. But I'm gonna read that back, Rick. I see your comment here. I'm gonna have to come back to that at another time. But thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. We only got 2 topics left. Look at that, 2 hours down. 2 topics left. No, we're not doing that. We're not hitting that milestone. I told y'all. Let's see. So Bond, James Bond. Christopher Nolan. Right now he's hot. He's got Oppenheimer in theaters, and of course, a lot of people are asking him questions. He's doing interviews and stuff like that, mainly because the directors did sign off and came to an agreement with the studio. So that's why you see Christopher Nolan still able to go out there and do stuff, even though he does support the Writers Guild and the actors too, because he is a writer as well. But question that's kind of come up has been like, yo, like, could he do a James Bond movie? Would he do a James Bond movie? Like, is he even interested in doing a James Bond movie? And it's a interesting question, because I want to say back in 2017. Actually, yes. Hold on, I do have it here. Here we go. Back in 2017, he told Playboy, which has great articles, by the way. Just it's good for the articles, great stories and interviews. But he was interviewed by Playboy, and he said that he would definitely make a James Bond film and keeps an open dialogue with the series producers. In that article, he said that I've spoken to the producers, and over the years, I deeply love the character. I'm always excited to see what they do with it. Maybe one day that would work out. You'd have to be needed, if you know what I mean. It has to need reinvention. It has to need you, and they're getting along very well. Well, that sounded like my man was kind of putting the feelers out there a little bit, like it has to be needed. You have to be needed. Now this was back in 2017, so it sounded like, and I want you to think about the date. Sounded like my man was like, "Yeah, I talked to them. We keep on, we slide into the DMs, but I'm gonna need somebody to need me. Everybody want to be wanted, and I want to be wanted. See, let's not forget, Christopher Nolan is a guy who used to have almost, I wouldn't say it was exclusive, but he primarily worked with Warner Brothers for a lot of his movies. And the last movie he worked on with them was Tenet. And Tenet didn't do so hot. Okay. Tenet had a lot of issues. And the problem that he had was the fact that, the studios started dropping movies same day, same release on streaming. And Christopher Nolan ain't here for that. This man be out here with these big old jumbo size IMAX cameras. He is not here for you to watch his movies on your laptop or on your phone. That is not what he goes out to do. So he had a big issue with Warner Brothers and was like, I'm out. Okay. He was like LeBron James and was like, yo, I'm gonna take my talents over there to what is it, Universal, Paramount, whatever. He was like, I'm out of here. And that's why he's making Oppenheimer with a different studio. But at the same time, my man was like, yo, if y'all, I like James Bond, you know. If y'all came and hollered at a brother, I'd be down. I'd be interested, you know. And if you notice, like I said, this was in 2017. Have y'all seen Tenet with my man John David Washington, aka Denzel Washington's son? My brother was looking pretty James Bondish. He looked like he could play the part. Now, I'm not saying that John David Washington should be the next James Bond, even though I would have no problem with that. Well, actually, he's not English, so it would be kind of off. But I thought that what Christopher Nolan did with the character in terms of how he presented him to us, I thought that was a nice little taste, pre-audition of what it would be like if he were to have a James Bond movie. Now, in absolutely no way should James Bond be out there doing time travel and all this other backwards nonsense. No way. But it looked like my man can handle the action scenes and all of that stuff. But anyway, Christopher Nolan recently was asked again about this idea of doing a James Bond movie. And my man responded once again. And let's see what he said. It was brought up, would he ever direct the James Bond movie? And he said the influence of those movies in my filmography is embarrassingly apparent. Like I said, go see Tenet. It would be an amazing privilege to do one. At the same time, when you take on a character like that, you're working with a particular set of constraints. Ooh, do tell. He says it has to be the right moment in your creative life where you can express what you want to express and really burrow into something within the appropriate constraints, because you would never want to take on something like that and do it wrong. He concluded that if he is to be involved in any project, he must embrace completely as a creative. You wouldn't want to take on a film without being fully committed to what you bring to the table creatively. So as a writer, casting, everything, it's a full package, he said. You have to be really needed and wanted in terms of bringing in the totality of what you bring to a character. Otherwise, I'm happy to be the first in line to see whatever they do. Yo. My man right here was saying a lot without saying a lot, but he said a lot. Let me tell you, first of all, did y'all catch the part where he said that it was a lot of constraints? Basically, this is what he's saying. I'll do y'all James Bond movie. I love to do your James Bond movie. I got to be the boss. I wants to do all the work. I got to be the director, the writer, the casting. I want to do it all. That is what I want. You know, that's tricky. Because while I understand Christopher Nolan can make good movies, I don't know if the Broccoli producers would want to give Christopher Nolan full range. Do you want Christopher Nolan casting your James Bond? I don't know about that. Because this is the character that you guys have control over. This is a character that, and here's the other thing. How many movies is Christopher Nolan going to do? Because if he's only going to do one movie, that means that somebody else going to have to pick up the slack. Maybe James Bond did something. And it sounds like the producers want to do like maybe another trilogy, maybe another 4-part movies, something that's all connected. Now, they could counter They could be like, oh, okay, yeah, you can come in. Yeah. But we gonna pick the Bond, and you gonna have to do almost all the movies. I don't know if Christopher Nolan wants to do that. So it could be something similar to how they worked out, Christopher Nolan worked out with The Dark Knight, like where he was like, yo, I'm doing the trilogy and that's it. Maybe. Personally, I don't think I want Christopher Nolan doing James Bond. I don't think so. Especially if he wants to do everything. If he wants to do all the writing and all the directing and all the nah, bro, that's a miss for me. And I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. For me, one thing that I like about James Bond movies is that when we get a different director, we get a different flavor, we get a different taste, we get a different feel for James Bond. And I like that because it keeps the character fresh, in my opinion. If you don't like one movie, it's cool. I love Casino Royale. I didn't really care for Quantum of Solace. Like you can kind of mix it up a little bit and you know what you're getting. Imagine if Christopher Nolan did the first James Bond movie and it's not that well. Imagine if it was like Tenet and it was kind of divisive. You really gonna look forward to the second one? Do you really want to put all your eggs in one basket at this point? That's kind of risky. It's kind of risky. And again, shout out to Christopher Nolan. We know that he's a great director, but at the same time, do you want all that unnecessary risk when you could just be like, we can keep control and we can just do what we want? Last thing I've also am apprehensive with is when you look at the movies from Christopher Nolan in the last 10 years, they have not been as good as his movies 10 years prior to that. I'm talking about like when you go from Memento, The Prestige, Inception, Dark Knight, even Interstellar. Those movies hit different compared to Tenet, Dunkirk, Oppenheimer. They hit very different. And I think that in his latter, more recent stuff, he's had more control and he's been able to do more stuff with like just on his own. And in my opinion, what ends up happening is he gets inside his head too much. And he sometimes forgets that the average audience that's watching his movies, we all don't have physics degrees. We all don't have PhDs in history. And sometimes he forgets to make what I believe are relatable emotional anchors in the movies. I don't think he's very good at that. So while he can be very technical with his movies, I think sometimes he loses some of the human connection that's needed that we go into the movies for, And James Bond is a character that you need me to connect with this character. This is the thing. So I look at something like Tenet, and as much as I liked John David Washington's character, I never connected with him. We don't even know his name. He doesn't even have a name at all. But you look at something like Inception, and we connected with Leo's character. We understood what was driving him. We had a better, but for whatever reason, Nolan just don't lean on that, or he forgot to do something. I don't know. In Dunkirk, who did you connect with? Did you connect with any character? I didn't. I don't even remember none of the characters' names. If it wasn't for Oppenheimer, I'd probably forget a bunch of people's names too, outside of Oppenheimer. So anyway, I think that as much as I love Nolan's work and I respect it, and I think he is one of the best directors out there, I don't think I would like for him to be a Bond director with the level of power that he says that he kind of wants. If he came in and did 1 or 2 movies, I'd be cool with that. But I would not give him full reign. I just wouldn't. And on top of that, the Bond franchise doesn't need him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was DC and the way DC is struggling, you better pray Christopher Nolan comes back and does anything for y'all. Pray for that. That would be a boost because y'all struggling. If you were Sony and you've been struggling with your spin-off Spider-Man stuff, and Christopher Nolan said, "Oh, I'd like to do a Spider-Man spin-off movie," you better let that man cook. You let him cook because y'all need all the help you can get. But the James Bond franchise, they don't need no help. Them movies gonna, as long as they cast somebody that works, that's charismatic, and y'all get the action and all that, people gonna show up. Who not gonna show up for a James Bond movie after 30, 40 years of James Bond movies? So anyway, y'all let me know, what do you think about this idea of Christopher Nolan coming in and, potentially at least expressing his interest again in directing a James Bond movie or movies? Do you think that maybe it is a good idea to just let him come in, have full power, casting, writing, directing, let him do his thing? Do you think it'll be a great idea? Do you think maybe not so much? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right. I got some comments here. Mo Better, what you got? Thank you so much. Honestly, when you look back at Dark Knight, Inception, Tenet, Dunkirk, and now Oppenheimer, I feel like Mission Impossible fits Nolan's style more than Bond. So here's the thing. It might, but the problem is the old Mission Impossible. So I would say Mission Impossible 1 through 3 would fit Nolan's style. But once you got to Mission Impossible 4, what was that? Ghost Protocol, I think. 4 through 7, that is no longer Christopher Nolan. Because now 4 through 7 has leaned heavier into the stunts and into the spectacle, whereas 1 through 3 were more about the actual story and the technical stuff and all that Nolan used to get into, right? Like that used to be right up Nolan's wheelhouse, that used to be his bag. But right now, nah, man, they going for that big spectacle. They want the big bang. They want the big crazy stunts and stuff. And I'm not saying Christopher Nolan doesn't do stunts, but I feel like Nolan would be more into the conspiracy theories and more into or not theories, but the storyline, rather than where the franchise is now headed. So I think Tom Cruise and they going in a different direction. Not to say I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'd love to see it. If you told me Christopher Nolan was doing Mission Impossible 9, I'm in there. But thank you so much, Mo. I appreciate you. Anthony, back at it. Thank you so much. I heard that WB released Barbie the same day because they were mad that Nolan left them out of pettiness. That is so funny. I hope it's true. I haven't heard that. I don't know if that's even true. I have heard reports, though, that the new executives in WB, they wrote that man a nice little check, a check with like millions of dollars. Basically, I forget what it was. Maybe it was residuals from Tenet or whatever. But they was like, "We sorry. Here you go." So my man woke up to a nice looking "I'm sorry" letter. They sent him a nice little DM like, "Hey, big head, how you doing?" So it was kind of like, yo, I heard that. I ain't heard nothing else about them being petty. Listen, and here's the thing: the last thing they want to do is be petty. Why? They want Christopher Nolan to come back. They don't want to destroy that relationship. They like, yo, that was the old management. Okay, that ain't us. We new here. Okay, we under new management. We come on back, please. So yeah, I would not put stock into that report, whatever that is. But anyway, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. All right, let's get to the last topic of tonight. Guys, Aquaman 2, is it in trouble? We don't know. It has been a mess when it has come to Aquaman 2. There have been so many issues. I've told y'all this before. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what your favorites are. I don't care what you like. DC has been a mess for over a decade. DC has underperformed according to potential and expectations. You don't come in here trying to spin it. Don't come in here trying to give me iTunes numbers. It don't matter. Whatever the movies could have done, they haven't done. Whatever the franchise should have been, it is not. Okay? There have been a lot of reasons why. There have been a lot of fingers that could be pointed. I point the fingers at almost everybody. Okay? Zack Snyder definitely got some blame in this. My man's stories were not for general audiences. Doesn't matter how much money it made, didn't make enough. The studios were trash. The previous executives screwed Zack Snyder plenty of times. They screwed up the movies plenty of times. They were trash. It was a lot of nonsense going around. Release this cut, shorten this, interfere with this. It's been a terrible ride. Terrible. Now, it hasn't been completely bad because you still had Wonder Woman that came out, did really well. And then, of course, you had Aquaman that I don't think nobody in their right mind would have predicted that Aquaman, the character that had been made fun of for years. Y'all was making fun of Aquaman riding on them fish. Y'all was making fun of Aquaman riding on them dolphins, talking to fish and all that stuff for years. That was the whole reason Jason Momoa had to be cast. They had to cast Jason Momoa because y'all made fun of Aquaman so bad. So bad for years. The internet was relentless with this. So, with that said, Aquaman came out of nowhere with $1 billion movie. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody understood how that happened, but it did. And it was what it was. That was cool. Good for that. So, with this billion and with the other movies not doing so well, there were a lot of changes that went through. You had previous executives fired. You had change in ownership with the company. You had all these different things happening. You had reshoots going back and forth. The movie got delayed multiple times. It's, again, been a byproduct of a lot of things outside of its control, right? There were a lot of external things. And supposedly, some things didn't work out internally either. We talked about how there have been, and I've got videos on this, and this was the first time I ever heard of this. We've heard of how the screenings, the early screenings for Aquaman 2, people walked out. You walked out of a comic book movie? Y'all said this movie was so bad, you said, I don't even want my free money. Like, I'm giving my refund for the free movie? Y'all walked out. So, with that said, Aquaman is something that WB is banking on to be great. They needed to follow up. They say, yo, it made $1 billion. We need this thing to come back and do some more for us. And maybe it will. Maybe. Again, I still can't explain why Aquaman made $1 billion. It's not like we haven't seen underwater stuff before. We've seen Avatar. But it did what it did. Now, whether they can repeat that, that's a whole different story. But apparently we got a new story here from the Hollywood Reporter. And Warner Brothers is not giving up. They are not going to give up on Aquaman. And apparently they are on a quest to build a better Aquaman sequel with 3 reshoots, 2 Batmans, and nonstop test screenings. Yikes. So we're going to go through this report here. It says the sequel to Warner Brothers' 2018 DC movie is coming off a round of reshoots that occurred in New Zealand in mid-June and involves stars including Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson. This is the 3rd round of reshoots for the movie directed by James Wan. That is almost unprecedented. That's an unprecedented number, even for a movie of this scale. Now, let me just emphasize that. Reshoots happen. Reshoots are planned for movies. It happens all the time. Anything can happen. They can say, yo, We shot this movie. We're gonna go do some test screenings, and just in case if something doesn't make sense, or I don't know, if something changes, we have to budget and plan to bring the actors back, bring everyone back, and do a couple touch-ups, change some things up. It happens all the time. Marvel does it all the time. I've told y'all that before. Marvel will wait until the last minute. Matter of fact, I didn't even have to tell you that. Taika Waititi told you that. James Gunn told you that. Kevin Feige told y'all that they work to the last minute, and reshoots are all part of the game. However, one reshoot is one thing. Two reshoots is another thing. Three. That's a lot. So just want y'all to know that's not part of the norm. And Aquaman was originally supposed to, it is right now being released in December 20th. That's the current date. It was supposed to come out December 22nd, 2022. But there were a lot of VFX issues basically that was going on. So they had to kind of like make sure that it would be right. Of course, with a movie that has nothing but VFX. So it says from summer 2022 to the beginning of 2023, Aquaman 2 underwent 2 rounds of reshoots and held several uninspiring test screenings. Yikes. Now Pamela Abdy got involved, especially during the whole, shift of between Zaslav coming in and all that. So Pamela Abdy got involved. Discovery CEO David Zaslav could find a permanent DC boss to replace Walter Hamada. Sources say that in the fall, Abdy took a strong creative stance and got involved in the editing of one cut of Aquaman 2. However, when that version tested, it scored lower than the previous version. Ha! Let me tell y'all something. When a movie goes, and maybe some of y'all have done this before, when y'all go to a screening, right? And I'm talking about like a screening. So that's before me as a critic, I get to see it. Y'all get to go see the unfinished product, right? You guys get to go in there, and it's a select few. It's a focus group. They have you sign the NDAs, all of that. So all the VFX are not done. Everything's not done, but they do that so they can get a general sense of the movie, right? So basically, they did a test screening and people was like, this ain't it, chief. Sorry, nah. So what you do with that is you take that information, you go do the reshoots, you polish it up, and it should come out better. But the fact that they went through the first screening, they did their first reshoots, and whoever this Pamela Abdy came in and was like, oh, we gonna do this with the creative stuff. Yeah, this is it. This gonna kill them. Then you go test it, and then it came out worse. Have y'all ever been to school and you took a test and you didn't do so well? And the teacher said, you know what? I'm gonna give you another shot. And I'm gonna give you some more time to study. And you go and you study. And then you come back and take the test and you fail even harder. How debilitating is that? What were you even doing? What did you study? And the answers didn't change. The questions didn't change either. Ooh, that's messed up. I ain't never heard of that. That's crazy. So it says here that it is unclear what the problems were, but one insider said the issue of story clarity has been an ongoing concern. Another concern is Batman. Walter Hamada wanted Michael Keaton's version of the character to be kind of like Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury in the movies. At one point, Aquaman 2 was set to open in March 2023, several months before Michael Keaton's return in June 2023's The Flash. So, in late July 2022, 2 months after Abney and DeLuca took over Warner's, Ben Affleck joined a round of reshoots as Bruce Wayne to replace a scene that Michael Keaton shot. But then the movie was moved again, this time to after The Flash, putting Affleck's appearance in question. The latest cut of the film features neither version of The Dark Knight, according to sources, as new DC heads James Gunn and Peter Safran don't want to promise a movie universe that will not come to fruition or tie down excessively to past failures. Oh my God. First you had Batman, then you had to bring in another Batman. Now you ain't got no Batman because Gunn and Safran don't want nobody to be tied down to things that just didn't work in the past. What is going on? What is going on? I remember when we talked about this too, when Ben Affleck was seen on the set. You saw Jason Momoa, he was all happy-go-lucky. He was having a good old time. Ha ha ha. It was all good. And then all of a sudden, nothing. Nothing. This is not giving me good vibes. It's not. But maybe the reshoots can help. Maybe. I mean, that's the whole point of reshoots, is to try and help. It says here the skies may have cleared with the new reshoots. Gunn is said to have weighed in on most of the recent cut, and the leadership approved a 5-day shoot. Sources say the shoot went so well that Wan and company completed what they needed in only 4 days. Okay. Now, here's the thing with this. According to this, if this is true, this is saying that Aquaman was bad. And now James Gunn came in and gave his 2 cents, and he's supposedly helped. This could mean one of two things. One, if the movie is trash, I have to assume that James Gunn gave them good advice. And if the movie is trash, how much more trash was it before James Gunn came along? That's one thing I'm thinking about. The other concern with this is, if James Gunn came in, and the whole reason you brought James Gunn in, the whole reason you made him co-CEO, he's your part-time, he's your second half Kevin Feige. The whole reason you brought him in was to help. If this movie is trash, and he was a helper, how is that going to affect the confidence in anything else he comes in and helps later? Let's not forget, my man James Gunn, and I'm a James Gunn fan, he didn't do The Flash no favors. This is the same guy that came in and said The Flash was one of the greatest comic book movies ever. And The Flash has now become one of the greatest comic book movie flops ever. So you're putting a lot on James Gunn right now by even saying that you involved, because he's supposed to be your Kevin Feige. Now, let me explain what that means for some people that are not familiar. Y'all remember Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, the one that it made some money, but it didn't do as well. Kevin Feige, according to the Sony email links, was giving Sony free advice. He was like, yo, do this with Peter. Yo, stop doing this. Yo, y'all got to do this. Yo, change that up. Yo, you know what you should do? You should make sure Peter does this, this, and this. You do this, you got a good movie on your hands. For no money, Kevin Feige gave them notes, and Sony was like, get out of here. We got this. And the movie underperformed. And then what happened? We got the Sony Marvel deal, and then Marvel, so Kevin Feige got a chance to do all the things he told them to do before. Did it in Homecoming, did it in Far From Home, did it in No Way Home, made them more money with Spider-Man than they ever made. That's what they're hoping is going to happen with James Gunn. Oh, we got all this mess over here, James Gunn. You supposed to come in here and fix this like Kevin Feige would fix something else. So there's a lot riding. This is what I'm paying attention to. This is what I'm looking for. I want to see, Is James Gunn, does he have that magic? Does he have that secret sauce? He got that Lowry's. He gonna sprinkle a little something on this to make it work? Because I don't know. Well, we got some more in here. It says, and to some, the fact that Warner's is willing to keep spending money to make the film better shows that the studio has faith in Aquaman 2. That don't mean a thing. Why? Because this is the same studio that decided to put $150 million and do reshoots with Ezra Miller in The Flash. They had faith in The Flash too. What's that mean to me? That just let me know that that they are perfectly capable of misplaced faith. Just because they sprinkle money on something don't mean it's gonna mean nothing. They put money into The Flash. They believed in The Flash. They had Tom Cruise sign off on The Flash. That means nothing. Nothing. It says here also, in February, according to sources, the filmmakers of Blue Beetle asked for 2 days of additional shooting. But the filmmakers of Blue Beetle were given 2 days. I'm sorry. They were denied those 2 days. I just wanted to point that out to ask a question. So it costs money to do reshoots. Y'all gave Aquaman 2 money for 5 days of reshoots. Blue Beetle asked y'all only for 2 days, and y'all were denied. But according to the logic in this, when the studio gives the money for the reshoots, that means they believe in it. Does this mean y'all don't believe in Blue Beetle? Damn. That sucks. That sucks. Anywho, it also says here that Aquaman 2 was greenlit with a budget of $205 million, and the reshoots have only raised that overall budget. And I've told y'all, when it comes to budgets, that's not the end of it, because you have to also think about the fact that that's just the budget to make the movie. That's not the budget for the marketing as well. And I just said earlier, I think it was Andy Muschietti who said the budget for The Flash was like $150 million. So you had $200 million for The Flash, then another $150 million in budgeting. So that's $350. And they didn't even make $200 million, or they made somewhere around there. They couldn't even come even. And I told y'all, it's not about coming even, because when a movie goes into the theaters, they have to share that money with a bunch of other people. So the last thing you want to do is take 2 years of hard work or whatever and break even. That's a failure. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you just break even, that's a failure. Even if you make a little bit of profit, that's a failure. That's like me saying, like, yo, give me your whole, let me hold $5,000 from your whole, all your money. I'm gonna hold that for 2 years, and then after 2 years, I give you $5,000 back. You could have done a whole lot of stuff with that $5,000. You could have invested it, you could have saved it, you could have added some more money to it. But no, like, you cannot just break even with movies. You want to make your money and then some. You want to make 2.5 times your budget. So if it is true that this budget was $200 million, and if it is true that these reshoots are definitely going to add on to that budget, I'll be generous. Let's say it's 250. Let's say it's 250, in total. And let's be a little conservative and just say it's $100 million for marketing. So it's about 350 potentially. And if you need 2.5 times your budget, you're going to need at least maybe what, $800-900 million for this to be successful. And Warner Brothers is probably hoping that this could be that $1 billion movie again. But I can tell y'all right now, I don't see Aquaman doing $1 billion again. Now, I didn't see it happening the first time, so anything is possible. But given the fact that you already announced the fact that you starting the DC over again and you doing something different, given the fact that we have no idea if any Batman's going to be in it or not, given the bad track record with the Flash that just happened right now, given the fact that it shows like you don't have any confidence in Blue Beetle, where is the incentive to go watch Aquaman 2? And even though I'm not on this bandwagon, there are a lot of people that really don't like Amber Heard. And she in this movie. I heard they cut some of her parts out, maybe cut her all the way out. But there's some people that don't want to watch this because of Amber Heard too. And we just saw Avatar 2. You're not finna trick people into watching underwater movies again like that. We just got a Little Mermaid as well. I'm just saying the underwater thing ain't really the big draw that it used to be. And then one other thing potentially that could work against this movie. James Wan said this here, the director. This movie has something to say or something to talk about, climate change, but it's still a fun action fantasy movie. Now, I like James Wan. James Wan is one of my favorite directors when he's doing horror. But hold on, let me read that again. He said here, this movie has something to talk about climate change, but it's still a fun action fantasy movie. We talked about this, by the way. We talked about what this meant, and this was from Jason Momoa. Remember when Jason Momoa told us what he wrote? He wrote the script and stuff, or at least, what was it, 50 pages? Said he wrote a 50-page treatment for the script. Y'all remember what that was about? I'll read it to you. The beautiful thing about Aquaman 2 is me and my partner wrote the first treatment for it, and it was about a 50-page treatment. And a lot of it has to deal with me talking to the UN. What's happening with the melting ice caps? There's no far-off galaxy coming to destroy us or aliens from another place. It is us ruining our planet. We need to get it together and save our home. Okay. I told y'all, if y'all want to watch that Underwater Captain Planet, it's up to y'all. What? Aquaman on C-SPAN? What? Now I can see if that was the original story, you ain't got no villain, you ain't got no nothing. Now I could kind of see why people would potentially walk out of this thing. I don't care. I don't care. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a certain message in there. You can do all of that. You can sit here and talk about, the planet and stuff. I don't mind that. I'm just saying that's your main message. That's the main thing that you're gonna sell people on with this movie. Good luck. Good luck. So anyway, I have no idea why WB has any faith left in this movie. Given the shift that they're making, given that potential story that they're having, given the Amber Heard situation, given all this money that they putting into it, I don't know. I don't see this working. I don't know if James Gunn is going to be enough, because apparently that's the only positive thing I've heard so far is that, yes, they're willing to put some more money in for reshoots, but at the same time, James Gunn is coming in. You might not even have Batman in there. I'm so confused. I don't know what. I'm not seeing anything enough to get this movie back to the $1 billion mark. And if it doesn't hit that $1 billion mark, I think it's going to be another L for WB. I think it's going to be another L for DC. And this is going to have to be something that James Gunn is going to have to add to his resume. Because if you are involved in this, you can't have that plausible deniability that, like, yo, that was the previous regime. That wasn't me. I had nah, bro, your hands are on this now. So I hope for the best. I hope this works out. I hope that, Aquaman 2 is great. I hope it makes another billion. It just don't sound like it. But anyway, y'all let me know. What do you think about all this news with all the multiple reshoots that are unprecedented? Is this a good sign? Is this something that you are looking forward to? Does it give you at least a little bit more inspiration to watch? Hey, maybe they're working hard on it. I mean, they failed that open book test the first time, but maybe they'll get it the second time. I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Howard, what you got? Ain't no way Aquaman 2 makes $1 billion. Listen, it looks like a uphill struggle. They swim it against the current with this one. Okay. I don't know how they're gonna make it. I know a lot of times past results sometimes can influence the future. I don't think that's the case right now. I don't think that. But thank you so much, Cal Payne. Sadly, we won't know if Gunn has the sauce till Superman Legacy at this point. He is still trying to clean up messes he didn't make. I agree with you on that. For the most part, I'm just saying it's not going to be a good look. If Gunn comes in, gives his take, I just think that it's still going to be something people can point the finger at and be like, you see what you did here? So now my ultimate test is going to be Superman Legacy. Like, I'm going to look at Superman Legacy and I'm going to be like, okay, Gunn, this is what should set the tone. I'm just saying that whatever happens with Aquaman is either going to help or maybe kind of hurt just a little people's perception going into the new DCU. But we'll have to wait and see where that goes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Quiet One, what you got? Thank you so much for the contribution. Unfortunately, James Gunn is following the dumpster fire that DC left, like J.J. Abrams had to follow the dumpster fire that Rian Johnson left with the Star Wars trilogy. He got his work cut out for him. Time out. Hold up. Wait a minute. What we not gonna do is act like J.J. Abrams didn't have a part to play in all of that mess. J.J. was an executive producer on all of that. That was not Rian Johnson's fault. That was Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams, as he admitted to himself, he admitted publicly, probably would have been a good idea if they had a plan. They both did not have a plan and did not know what they were doing, and that was on them. So what we're not going to do is act like JJ just came in and he had his hands tied and he didn't. No. He messed up as well. Don't put that on Rian Johnson. You put that on the plan, on everybody that was planning it, and JJ was one of them people. Okay. And I like JJ. I like JJ as a producer, sometimes as a director, but he is not hands-free, scot-free, innocent of that. He messed up Star Wars just as much. So all that blame can go around. That can go around. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Quiet One, back at it. Jason Momoa's sequel plot has We Are the World soundtrack vibes all over it. It does kind of feel like that, don't it? It does kind of get that vibe for sure. Thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. That is all we have. Look at that. Right under 3 hours. Yes. All right, guys. That's all I got for tonight. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to be here with me and hanging out with the E-fam. Really does mean a lot. My wife is snickering at me because she knows I just barely made it. I'm still long-winded with it. But whatever. I didn't hit the 3 hours, and that's fine by me. All right. So, guys, we have Wednesday is going to be our next live. That is where we are going to talk about the season finale for Secret Invasion. Make sure you are there. We're doing that Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 Eastern. We're gonna go over the episode, talk about it, wrap it up, and all of that. And I got some more stuff I got to work on. I got some more From videos I got to work on. I got my that Scarlet Witch video I'm gonna do for y'all as well, that theory video, and some other stuff. So y'all stay tuned. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great rest of your weekend. You know the routine. Wash your hands and wash your butts. But yeah, enjoy yourselves. Have a good time, and I will see y'all later. Peace.